Hello and welcome to the Golf Course Lawn Show. My name is Ron Henry and I'm here to help answer your lawn care questions. Now, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Super happy to have you here. The way this works is really simple. On your screen, you will see a chat box. In there, you can enter your question, concern, comment of the day, and I work through them in the order that they come in. Now, sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I do not, but either way, we have an awesome time talking about lawn care and sometimes life. Guys, so tonight our normal program, which would normally be Friday night, is tonight on Thursday, mainly because I have a martial arts event tomorrow night. There's like 2 big events per year, spring black belt testing, fall black belt testing. So this is the spring one. So hence why it's going to be tonight instead of our normal Friday night. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hopefully you're getting some of this nice rain that we've been having here in the Southeast. So the lawn's been getting some free water, some nice water to help with green up. And, it's in full swing. I've been getting pictures from folks all across the country, from up north to even in the south. And, lawns are really beginning to come alive, which is really nice. We're entering the season for plant growth regulator, which is pretty awesome. If you've never used plant growth regulator before, it's something I would say is worth considering in your lawn care program, especially if you're someone that is mowing your lawn at shorter heights. If you're trying to maintain your lawn at heights of cut under 1.5 inches, especially throughout the entire season, then PGR is a great tool that will really help make that easier, as well as give you some side benefits as far as like hardiness and just slightly deeper color. So again, PGR, huge fan of it. All right, so let's get into the questions we have going on this evening. Let's start with Mr. Jason Harrison. He says, happy Thursday. I like it. So glad I got my PGR done already. Starting to see signs of seed heads, and glad to know there'll be short seed heads instead of the tall seed heads this year. It's a great point, Jason. So, we talk about plant growth regulator really in the context of reducing mowing frequency. But one of the biggest benefits of it, or side benefit, I'd say, is also seed head suppression. So if you look at a product like Primo Max, actually on the label, there is a section that talks about if you have annual bluegrass in your lawn, Poa annua growing in your lawn, Primo Max, if you get it into the plant a bit earlier in the season before it goes to start throwing seed heads, it's a way to help suppress seed heads to where they're not as big a deal. And you'll get that benefit also if you have a Bermuda lawn, you have a Zoysia lawn. Seed heads are going to become a thing here in the next 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, as temperatures get consistently warmer. It's like a response from the grass. So a way to help reduce that, or reduce how big they get, or how much you have it throughout your lawn, is through the use of plant growth regulator. I've got like a video on this topic. It's something I've done in my lawn for several years, which is why I'm also a fan of getting your growth regulator program going prior to like the times of the year when you really need it. Like when you get into like the hotter times of the year when the grass is really growing aggressively, getting your growth regulator in early, like now, or even, I started mine mid-March to play with it this year. And it's been great. The results have been awesome. I can actually show you guys that while the intro was playing, I went out and got a short video of the back lawn. So this video that you're seeing right now is literally like 4 or 5 minutes old. So you can actually see this is what the lawn looks like right before the live stream. We're about to get some rain here this evening again, and also tomorrow. But yeah, that's how it looks under growth regulator using Primo Max and a new EC. Loving the results. Not bad for late April, right? All right, so yeah, got you guys that down. Jason, keep us posted as far as how the lawn does. All right, next up is Mr. Ian M. He says, thanks for going live. You reminded me I need to order some Celsius. Okay, well, if you got weeds in your lawn, you need great broadleaf control and trying to not yellow your grass in the process, Celsius, good option. I like it. Rich70 is in the live stream. He says, Ron, have a great show. I will do my best, sir. It's probably going to be a shorter show tonight because typically on Thursday nights, folks are getting ready for work the following day, so they tend to not, stay up as late. So we'll see what kind of participation we get tonight. But typically Thursday nights are not as fun-filled, as long-going as the Friday night shows, right? All right, a true Gator fan is up next. He says, happy Thursday, Ron. I am glad to see heat and rain here in Memphis. It's go time, and I love it. Yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. I have to admit that the consistent heat is good for the grass to green up, because here's the thing, like my lawn is doing really well, but a lot of folks that perhaps have not run a program similar to what I've run for a number of years are kind of like struggling, right? They're looking at their lawn, they say have some parts that are really greening up well, some parts that are lagging behind. And the thing is to realize, really, until you get like the low temps in the 60s, where the lows are like mid 60s, that's when Bermuda grass really begins to take off. And we're not quite there yet. We've had a couple of days where it's been like that, but not consistently. So if you've got a Bermuda lawn, a Zoysia lawn, and your lawn isn't as green as you perhaps would like, just realize that now we're still getting into the time of the year now when it's starting to get consistently hot, and those grasses are really going to do their absolute best. So don't feel like there's anything really necessarily wrong with your lawn. Assuming you did a soil test, you've been feeding your lawn based on the soil test data, and you've been regularly mowing, because mowing is something that really does help with stimulating fresh growth. So if you mow your lawn regularly, that's something that's going to, cause it to, believe it or not, to green up a bit faster. It's going to encourage, if you have a creeping grass like Bermuda or Zoysia, it's going to encourage that lateral spread. So as far as like, filling in bare spots in your lawn or some areas that are a little bit struggling, mowing with sharp equipment covers a multitude of sins. So something that I'd really encourage you to do if you have not started so as yet. So, true Gator fan, we talk about the heat, I'll show you an interesting point here. So I talked to you guys about how much sunlight matters when it comes to grass, right? Like how much, even though you have grasses like Zoysia that are more shade tolerant, they need less sunlight to do well. Even with more sunlight, you can notice a difference. And I'll show you guys a good example of my lawn this morning. So this is the front lawn, video of the front lawn taken this morning. And what you'll look there, you look that further down as I start walking down here, you've got some green on the left. You got this area that's not as green as yet. And then you see there's almost like a line with a lot of green beginning to come in as we walk further down the sidewalk. Now, what's interesting about that is when the sun comes up in the morning, the way it goes over my house, this area that is not quite as green as further down the sidewalk, that part stays shaded by the house longer than the area that you see in the background that is more green. So just, 5-10 feet can make a huge difference as far as the amount of sunlight that the grass gets, the amount of heat that it gets, and that does affect green up. Now, the entire lawn is going to green up. It's going to be just fine. But this is a really cool video that I saw this morning. I said, you know what? I'm going to show the folks this, because this is a really good example. You can see like a clear line there, like almost like a triangle, a little Dorito in that's nice and green, and an area that is a little bit more shaded, or that's still greening up, but not quite as nice as the rest of the lawn, and just really shows the effect that shade can have on grasses, even shade tolerant grasses like zoysia. So even when you get a grass like zoysia, it's a good example, where you say, it's more shade tolerant than Bermuda, which it is. It can do well, it can look really good with less sunlight. It's still going to do better when it gets more light. And my front lawn is a perfect example of that. That little area there, that little notch, the sun casts a shadow there that really is around until 11-ish, 11 in the morning, thereabouts, 10:30, 11. And it shows in the green up, right? So if you guys can even see, that's a perfect example. If your lawn is not 100% green all yet, don't be too concerned about it. My back lawn is like in like the perfect position, because literally the sun, I'll show you guys. I'll show you one more time here. So the house that's in the background, at the left one, the brown house that's right there, right? So the sun literally rises over that house and like cuts and like passes diagonally over the entire lawn. So as soon as it breaks the horizon, that tree line, like this is getting sunlight, and it gets, so the back lawn, while the lawn is also babied, pampered, it gets a lot of, all the good stuff. It also gets a lot of sunlight, like from the time the sun rises until we get till like even actually, a great example. You can even see how at the end of the day, how you see the notch, how that one area on the right side there continues to get light, versus the rest that's now being shaded by the house. So this part of the house that's now this part of the lawn that's now shaded is the opposite of what the front lawn gets. And believe it or not, if you look at my lawn as it greens up as the season progresses, that area on the right side that you guys saw there that's getting plenty of sunlight, that part turns green sooner than anywhere else. So it just shows sunlight really matters, light matters. So if your lawn is not 100% of where you want it to be yet, I mean, a lot of times, assuming you're doing all the other things correctly, shade makes a difference. It really, really does. Okay, next up we got Ian M in the house. He says, is Grub Killer on your website safe for flowers, roses? It's a good question. I guess a good question, Ian. I know, so a Celebron is labeled for use on turf grass, and I've never heard of anyone having issues with it, but I don't know. It's a good question. As far as if you're doing your lawn or you're applying it to your lawn and a few granules got into the flower beds, if that's going to cause an issue, I would venture to say no, because a lot of folks do that, and I've never had any reports of any kind of a problem. Now, if you're talking about doing a spray actually on the ornamentals, like that's something I don't know about, and I'd be probably leery about taking that approach. So sorry, I'm not more help on this one. Again, I've never heard any feedback from anyone about the use of a Celebron having a negative result against, if some of it gets into the flower beds or, where you have your ornamentals growing. I've never had any bad feedback like that, but I don't know for sure, as far as that goes. What I would, like I said, what I would refrain from doing is spraying it like on the foliage. I would not spray it on the plant itself, which you really shouldn't need to do, right? Like a Celebron, you're really trying to get it into the soil to work. All right. So hope that helps, sir. Thank you so much for the question. Sorry, I am not of more use to you as far as this one goes, but I'll ask the folks. I'll make a note of that. I'll ask my contact at Syngenta and see what they say. Make a quick note here so I don't forget about a cell. All right. Cool. All right, next up, we have Michael Raymond. He says, are you running the same program on the Zoysia out front compared to the Bermuda out back this year? Any less N for Zoysia? Yeah, so the plan is, so what's different about what's going on with the front lawn and the back lawn right now is the front lawn is not getting any plant growth regulator as yet, right? So it is going to get Humic Max 1608 for the next feeding. It's going to get the foliar sprays, but it is not going to get plant growth regulator at this point in the season. Outside of that, it's going to be fairly similar. Again, remember, whereas most people run about a pound of nitrogen per month on their Bermuda lawns, I don't get anywhere near that. I run about 30% less than that on my lawns. So 0.7 of a pound of nitrogen for Zoysia. Should be great. Actually, how about rain, man? It's actually coming down like crazy right now. It's awesome. 0.7 of a pound of nitrogen would be fine for Zoysia. If I see anything that gives me concern, I can back it off a bit. But the thing is, I'm going to continue the same program front and rear. So same biostimulants. It's still going to get carbonized PNG. It's going to get the foliar sprays. The only thing that I'm omitting from the front lawn is plant growth regulator at this point. Once I get through top dressing it, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed for next month, at that point we can see about PGR. But I mean, you know, as slow as Zeon appears to be growing, I might not really need it. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see how it does. We'll see how it behaves with a 7/10 of a pound of nitrogen per month, and when we get into the hot time of the year when it really begins to take off, I'll see if I even need growth regulator. One note, Michael, as the height of cut that you see the lawn at right now, it's now at the same height of cut as the back lawn. So I've raised the mower up to 3/4 of an inch for the entire property. I was at 5/8 before, but now the back lawn is going to be maintained at 3/4 of an inch. This, what you're seeing right now, is also at 3/4 of an inch. So the height of cut has been slowly stepped down from what the sod came with to the height of cut where I intend to maintain it, because by my logic, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to let it get nice and green and lush at 2 inches. So there's no way it's going to be that tall. So may as well, once it's rooting in, which it's doing really well now, working the height of cut down to where I want it to be. So when it greens up now, it's going to actually be at a height of cut where it's going to stay green. So yeah, that's why. Another thing too, where you may have noticed why the color probably isn't as nice as it could be just yet, because the height of cut has been worked down to where it's going to be for the rest of the season. All right. So yeah, I'll keep you posted as things progress. You know, I've been doing shorts, not necessarily every day, but I'm trying to give you guys regular updates on the on that Zeon Zoya. Again, the stuff that I got from Supersod, they're the ones that supplied it. Really happy with it. As far as the overall thickness between each of the pieces, it was really nice, all the rolls. So I'm not thinking it's going to take too much top dressing to get it to look pretty good. Again, if you take a look at what we're working with right now, it's not in bad shape. From that distance, it looks fairly smooth. When I mow it around, like in front of the shrub, like over there, like that section, will probably take a little bit of sand. But overall, I mean, all the regular rolling that it's gotten just from a reel mower being on it has done a pretty good job smoothing out any little high spots, any little lumps. So again, the goal is to, I mean, I'm probably gonna get like 2 yards of material, so 2 of the big yellow bags. I don't know if it's necessarily going to take all that though, because I want to go light. The thing is with the Zoya, it's brand new, so I really want to go light with it. I mean, I don't go heavy with Bermuda, but I'm not trying to go too aggressive with the lawn. So if I have some left back where I can do another top dressing later in the season, that's something else we can consider as well too. But stay posted, man. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. You'll be able to get all of the updates as the Zoya lawn progresses. All right, next up is RV18. They're saying, hey everyone, Ron, I have the Revolution 26 and I mow my Celebration Bermuda 2 to 3 times a week at 3/4 of an inch. A man after my own heart. Love to hear that. Why am I not getting those burned in stripes like yours? Okay, so are you mowing on the same lines every time? Because one thing you're looking at here is you have to be really disciplined about setting like your main stripe and then building out the stripes to the right and left off of that. So I'll show you really quickly here. I'll go up here and I'll pause it. So if you look at the lawn right now, we pause right there. Okay, so you see the patio, to the left of the patio, there's like half a stripe on the left right there, a light stripe. Whenever I start the season out, that's where I begin. So I mow from there all the way towards that chimney that's off my neighbor's house in the background. That gives me a nice straight line. And then I build out the stripes off of that. And every time the lawn gets mowed in this direction, in this direction, it's the same pass over the same light and dark areas every single time. Something else that I also do as well is whenever I thinned out the lawn earlier this year, in lieu of scalping, I verticut it. And I did the same thing with the verticutter. So I pretty much set the stripes to where, or ran the verticutter on the same lines where I intend to maintain the lawn. So that's, I mean, and I maintained this stripe action, this particular pattern for a number of years now. So if you look at the lawn going back probably 3 years, at least 2 years, maybe 3, it's been like that pattern, right? So, and all the other cultivations that I do, whether it be verticutting, turf raking, they all are on the same pattern. So whether I go like the orientation you see, or if I go lengthwise, like the verticutter is passed the same way the mower would pass, which is what helps produce the really, crisp burned in stripes. When I mow, again, same lines every single time. So hope that helps, RV18. be sure just to make sure that you're very disciplined about how you are cutting. Like, you're not like overlapping a foot this time and overlapping the other way another time. Make sure it's the same way every time. And the way to get that is to start to have like like a master stripe, right? And then build it out either to the right and to the left of that throughout your entire lawn. That's going to help you get those really crisp lines. Okay, so hope that helps, sir. Again, you're new to, I'm not sure how long you've been real mowing with the Revolution 26, but as you do it more, your stripes will get more and more defined. All right, next up is Simple Cash Offer. He says, "Hey Ron, I sprayed the bio kit yesterday and I used the white tip. And I use the white tip instead of the red one. Will it be as effective?" Not as. I mean, it's still going to be okay. But the thing with the carbon kit is that it's designed for, while you can do a soil-based application, where it really shines, especially in the way that I recommend you use it, is with foliar sprays. So when you're mixing liquid fertilizer with it, we're mixing growth regulator with it, and those products, that form of uptake, foliar uptake, benefits from a finer droplet size, because it does a better job coating the leaf of the plant, of the grass, without having runoff. So, have you committed some grave sin? No. Are you still going to get some benefit from it? Absolutely. Would I do that every time? No. I would go to a foliar spray tip, like a red spray tip, 5-droplet, kind of like that guy right there, and because it's going to produce it's just a correct tool for the job. Okay. So you'll be good to go, but next time I would switch to, again, the one that is just a better fit for the type of product you're doing, the type of sprays you're doing, and especially if you're doing growth regulator as well in the tank, you really are going to want to ensure that you're using the fine droplet. All right, Michael Thompson is up next. He says, "Ron, Mike from Oklahoma again. I have my height of cut set at 0.75 inches, mowed it on Tuesday and saw some striping. Mowed again on Wednesday, no visible stripes. Solutions?" So here's the thing you have to realize too, man. It depends on the time of day. If you are at certain times of day, stripes are more visible than others, right? So, ideally you want the sun, like if you're at noon overhead, your stripes don't tend to be as good as when the sun is down just a little bit, right? Because what you're looking at is the reflection of the sun, when it's the lighter stripes of the sun bouncing off the grass when you're looking away from it, and then for the darker stripes, it's almost like you're seeing like the slight shadow of the grass that's laid towards you is casting. So that's why you see some that are light, some are dark. So the time of day when you're looking at it, where the sun is in the sky, can also affect how well the stripes tend to appear. But if you are maintaining, again, if your goal is to get like stripes like what I have on my back lawn, you're going to have to be really disciplined about mowing on the same pattern each time. So by that, I don't mean necessarily mow this way all season long and you never change it. You can mow like this way and then mow across from that 90 degrees to that. But every time you mow, for example, if this is a light stripe going this way throughout the entire season, if you want that stripe to be really pronounced, every time you mow it, it's going to be in this direction. And the next one is always going to be in the following direction. If you go one time, this guy's this way, and then another time it's this way, the cut's going to be good, but the stripes are not going to be as pronounced as versus if you are very disciplined about mowing the same pattern every time. So hope that helps, Michael. I've got a few videos on striping. I'll send one to you as well with some tips, especially if you're trying to go double wides. I'll send it your way, because it seems like everyone this year is talking about want to get that stripe action, which I get, man. I get it. I mean, lawn stripes are cool. It's a nice visual look, I think, to the lawn. Gives it that really manicured look. It's like another level of being manicured, right? So this is a video, I think, from last year that talks about how to mow double wides, how to mow thick stripes. And I will, I'll send this your way. Let me see here. So at Michael Thompson, how to mow thick stripes in your lawn. All right. So take a look at that. Hopefully that helps. But just stick with it. Be more disciplined. All right. Let's see. All right. Next up is Andres Arredondo. I think it's Arredondo. I think it's a roll of the R because it's 2 R's, right? Aris Arredondo says, currently dealing with Kikuyu invasion in my turf reptile fescue in Southern California. In the area, I deal with wild burrows that come up and mess up the lawn every couple days. Let's see here. I know the best was to best way to deal with it is kill the whole lawn and starting over. But with burrows coming, although I'm pretty sure they wouldn't allow me to fully get the baby turf type tall fescue to grow in. So can you fence the? I mean, this is kind of an extreme way. It's kind of a pain. I guess burrows you mean donkeys, right? You're gonna have to keep traffic off the lawn. Like, for example, I just sodded my front lawn almost a month ago, not quite a month ago, it's like a little over 3 weeks now at this point. If I had like a lot of animal traffic, donkeys traffic, large people on it, like you're gonna have a big problem with that. So if you are going to do a renovation, which if you've got Kikuyu grass, I don't know of a selective way to get rid of Kikuyu grass in a cool season lawn. There might be, but I've not encountered that particular combination as far as getting to remove it. So if a full renovation is what you're going to go for, you're going to need some way to keep people, animals off the area while it grows in. So sorry I don't have a better answer for you, Andre. Sorry I don't have an easier answer for you. I think the answer I'm giving you is pretty good. It's just that it's not one that is that's easy to implement. So I say barrier, but I mean, a fence is probably gonna be the best thing. And that's a big investment just for your lawn. So I'm not sure if you're new viewer. If you are, welcome. I've not seen your name here before. So if you're new, thanks for coming and hanging out on a Thursday night on the Golf Course Lawn Show. All right, Jeremy Wallace is up next. He says, hello, everyone. I've applied an application of insecticide at the heavy rate. Actually already about 2 weeks ago. I've got birds pecking in my lawn for grubs, I assume. Should I do another application? I would not, Jeremy. So a couple things. Without knowing what, when you say the heavy rate, I'm not sure what that really means as far as application rate. So it'd be useful to know what the insecticide was and what actual rate you used. And no, I would not go out and do another application of insecticide. Like, birds are on my lawn every day. A lot of times they're waiting to see if I'm going to water the lawn so they can go out there and get some worms. I saw them, man. Birds are ruthless. I saw this one bird out there. I call him like Big Boy because he's kind of chubby. And he was just jacking up a worm, man. He pulled it out. That worm was as long as he was. So they might not necessarily be going after grubs. They might be going after worms, especially if you just finished watering the lawn. They tend to all, whenever I run my irrigation, like those mornings, you'll see them out there just kind of waiting for the worms to come to the surface and so they can get them. So all that to say is no, I would not do another application. And when you say heavy, I hope you mean heavy within the limits of, what the label says as far as application rate. So if you went, on the heavier side of the application rate, then I guess that's fine. But I would not reapply insecticide 2 weeks later if that's what you're asking. So no, would not do that. You don't want to overdo it. All right. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Next up, we got Ninos. What's going on, Ninos? He says, happy Thursday at Ron Henry and everyone. Can I use PGR on a new emerging? I don't see the rest of your lawn of your question. I get you. Oh, on a new emerging lawn. Can you use PGR on a new emerging lawn? Can you? Yes. Would I? No, because you have a new lawn that you're trying to grow in. I imagine from grass seed, we don't want to necessarily suppress growth at that point. You know what I mean? So where PGR can be used on a lawn renovation to some extent is like this. So let's say you are overseeding Bermuda, right? And you've thinned out the lawn a little bit, and you're trying to slow down the Bermuda while you also allow the ryegrass seed to germinate and grow in. Now, because a growth regulator like Primo needs to have foliage, it needs a leaf for uptake. A technique that some people will do is they will spray an application of Primo over the Bermuda lawn and then overseed with ryegrass, because that's going to slow down how quickly the Bermuda grows. So it's not going to really tend to thicken up as quickly. As far as, especially if you just thinned it out in preparation for an overseed, which is going to give the ryegrass an advantage as far as germination. So in that case, you can do it. But if you had a brand new lawn that you're growing from seed, or even from sod, I wouldn't put growth regulator on it right away. Like, my front lawn is getting the same biostimulants, same fertilizers as the back lawn. It's not getting growth regulators yet, right? Because it's new, trying to find its way in the world. I don't need to be doing anything really at this point to slow down how quickly it's trying to grow. So can you? Yes. Would I? No, I would not. All right. So hope that helps. Andre says, any advice would be appreciated. Yeah, so I gave you some advice there, Andreas. I'm sorry that you're dealing with, like, I guess I'm thinking about donkeys or large animals getting into your lawn. You have to do something to keep them out, man. That's going to be it. Because here's the thing. It's worth worth doing, even if you even outside of like the seeding project, right? Because if you have like big like cattle or donkeys or big animals all up on your lawn, it's never really going to look good because the amount of wear and tear they can produce on it can easily exceed the ability of the grass to recover in in the interval between when they're on it again. So fence is again what I'm going to try and push you towards, something to keep them out. All right. Michael Raymond says, I applied Pillar SC last night, then I got 1.5 inches of rain. How much water is too much? You're fine. I really wouldn't be concerned about it, Michael. I mean, I try to time my applications, my anything to get in the soil based around rainfall. So for example, today is the 24th. It's a little bit early, but if you guys watched my channel this morning, I went out and I put up my carbonized PNG. Why? Even though it's a little bit early. Because according to the forecast, if it's to be believed, we're not going to have any rain here in Northeast Georgia around the end of the month. So the first, we're not going to have any. So with the rain that we've had today and just came down right now, I wanted to get my granular biostimulant out earlier so they can get watered in. So to answer your question, no, there's not an inch and a half of rain is not gonna negatively impact your results. You're gonna be just fine. Again, I literally, if I can, always try and time my soil-based application, my granular fertilizer, insecticide, fungicide apps around when there's gonna be rainfall in the immediate forecast, even though I have irrigation, because it does a better job watering it in than my irrigation does, right? So you're good to go, sir. No need to worry about it. I would not go and do another application if that's what you're leaning towards. You are good to go. No need to redo it. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Andrew Flores. Andrew Flores. What's going on, Andrew? Thanks so much for coming by to say hello in the live stream for a little bit. Let me get your question up here. All right. He says, would PGR be okay to start applying, or should I wait until fully filled in? I emailed you some updated photos. Yes, I did get your pictures, Andrew. Let me see if I can get one of them here on the live stream so the other folks can see what it is you are speaking about. Okay, so this is a picture from yesterday of Andrew's lawn. You're already out there real mowing it, which I like. I appreciate that. That's looking good. So based on these pictures, would I apply plant growth regulator? So I'll show you guys really quick. And my answer is going to be yes. If you want to, then by all means go for it, because you're already, it's filled in largely at this point. It looks really good. And you're out there putting a mower on it already, which is good times. If I got the picture of you mowing it. No, actually you didn't attach that one. There's another picture he has here of him actually mowing the lawn, which looks really good. So yeah, if you wanted to use PGR, you can. What I would recommend, Andrew, is to apply it at low rates, half rate. The method I like to use for putting out PGR is to take the rate that's on the label. So like for Primo, you got Bermuda grass. It's going to be like anywhere between 0.25 ounces to 0.38 ounces per 1,000 once a month. Take that, cut it in half, and spray it every 2 weeks from now until you decide to not use growth regulator on your lawn anymore, normally around like September, October time frame. And that's going to produce a really good result. So yeah, as how your lawn is looking, yeah, I would not have any issues with you going to growth regulator at all at this point. Again, just go at the half rate approach if it is what I'd recommend. And then just keep up with your mowing, man. Yeah, no worries at all there, because it looks good. It looks good. It's well established. It's crazy how good your Bermuda grass is looking at only 5 weeks. That lawn's only 5 weeks old, and it's looking really good, man. So all your prep work, everything that went into getting it to this point, is really paying off. Keep up with your mowing, obviously. That's going to be really important. And then I've got a blog post on growth regulator that you may not have. So I'll get this here for you. Regulation. That will help you. You can read through it. If for anything, it's just a nice reference for all the application rates, right? Like how to use Primo by itself, how to use a new EZ by itself, how to use them both together. If you're a real boss, you're really trying to really line how quickly the lawn grows, how quickly it grows, then you can use a combination of Primo Max and a new EZ. So if you scroll down here, down to how to avoid tip burn, I explain like the process of doing it every 2 weeks, spraying it every couple of weeks, and then the split application rates for Primo and split application rates for a new EZ. And if you decide you're going to use them together, you can watch this video, which shows the rates that I like to use. Now you can play with those rates up and down as you want, but those rates have worked really well for me, and other folks go by them and they also get great results as well. So hope that helps, Andrew. Great job on the lawn. It looks really good. And yeah, growth regulator will definitely help it tighten up a bit too as you continue to keep up with your mowing. All right. All right. Ramon Munez says, hi, Ron. What's going on, Ramon? Hopefully you're doing all right. And then JP's up next saying, hey, Ron, thanks for sharing your knowledge. You are very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. All right. You know what? I think you've been asking for it. I'm going to give you what it is you've been asking for. So there we go. Fixed. All right. So next up we have Chris Rossi. He says, any opinions on next Deatch? I'm sure it's a good product. It'll have some benefits as far as increasing microbial activity. It does not replace like true mechanical cultural practices. So is it as good as like turf raking your lawn? No. Is it as good as verticutting your lawn? No. Is it as good as dethatching your lawn? No. But in lieu of those things, if you decide you're not going to do them, and you want to do something to help increase microbial activity to help slowly, I mean by slowly I mean really slowly, begin breaking down thatch, then yeah, I mean it'd be worth considering. I mean, I don't use those types of products because I think that not necessarily I think, but the mechanical methods of cultivation are superior. Like actually turf raking your lawn, verticutting it, or in extreme cases, if you really need it, dethatching it are a better way to go than using like the liquid aerators, liquid dethatchers. They just, the mechanical cultivations just work better. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Next up is 2 Trilla. He says, hey, Ron, and happy Thursday, everyone. The Zoya is looking better with every update. It's getting there, man. It's getting there. Now, I mean, I beat it up a little bit, right? I mean, it was looking good. And then, it was greening up quite a bit, and I started working on how to cut down. So it's taking a little bit of beating, but all throughout it, you can see green coming in, which I absolutely am ecstatic about. It's really, it's coming together nicely, and we'll just keep going at it, right? That super sod, Zeon Zoya is good stuff. Along with the prep work also made a big difference too. Like the company that came out and did a great job grading. They put down 3 bags of the soil cubed compost, like super sods, really rich organic material. 3 of that, they tilled it in, then they graded it again. And then I gave them I woke up that morning and they came out and I saw me out there with my leveling rake. So I took the leveling rake and they actually like raked all the bare dirt, just getting it, the way I wanted it, and then laid the sod. So like all that prep work, kind of like what you're seeing with Andrew's lawn. Like if you guys saw the updates of how his lawn started out, like he did a really good job preparing the lawn, and the results show, right? I mean, it looks really good. It's coming in nicely for only 5 weeks. That looks really good. And my front lawn is the same thing. A lot of when it comes to renovation project, the prep work is the better job you do preparing, the better job you're going to get as far as the results go, and the less headache you're going to have to do after the fact, right? So as far as top dressing it, I can probably get by with 1 bag of level mix. The last thing you want to do is start leveling and run out. So I'll probably get 2 bags just so I have enough to be able to do a nice light top dressing and have a little bit left over for some touch-up work. All right. Jared George has entered the chat. Hope you're doing well, Jared. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. He says, hey, Ron, it's been a bit since I've been here. I know. Father-in-law, I just passed away, so dealing with all that. Sorry to hear that, sir. Question, if I have Bermuda in an area I don't want now, I'm not sure you're saying, can I use PGR to suppress but not kill it? I mean, you can use growth regulator to slow down how fast it grows, but it's not going to suppress it. I mean, it's not going to stop it from growing altogether. So yes, I guess if your question is, you have some Bermuda grass, you don't want to mow it, you don't want it to grow as quickly. Yes, you can use growth regulator to slow that down, but it's not going to make it go away. Like that's not enough to stop Bermuda. So if you want to get rid of the Bermuda, glyphosate and Fusilade. Fusilade 2 and glyphosate, great combination for non-selective control of Bermuda grass. Does a great job cleaning it up. But growth regulator, if you just want to slow down how fast it grows, you don't have to mow it as much, then you can do that. All right. Let's up is Joanne Lapron. What's going on, Joanne? Hopefully it's going well, Jojo. She says, that looks so good. Green perfection. The back lawn looks decent, looks respectable, but the front lawn is still very much a work in progress. It's getting there. It's getting there. The goal is to get the front lawn closer to the back lawn. We're going to see how close we can get it this season. But yes. Next up is George says, she's LOL. Next was Ramon again. I already said hello to you. Next we have Lewis P86. He says, hey Ron, applied the magnificent combo of certainty and Celsius that turned the clover yellow for about 2 weeks now. Should I hit it again or leave it? Thanks for all you do. So I mean, if it's yellowing off pretty nicely, like it's going to die, then you're likely good. I always tell folks, give it 3 weeks between reapplications. Like if you spray post-emergent herbicides, especially this time of year when it's not quite as hot yet, give it 3 weeks or so to work. And at the end of 3 weeks, reevaluate and say, okay, it looks like, I mean, it's yellowing, but there's still a lot of green there. It looks like it could potentially recover from this, in which case a spot spray of just those areas would make a lot of sense. But at 2 weeks, especially given that temperatures have not necessarily been as consistently hot as we would like, I wouldn't be so quick to say it's, you'd be a good idea to do another application at the 2 week mark. Give it 3 weeks. At 3 weeks, reevaluate and see how it's looking, and then you can decide accordingly. You certainly should not have to blanket spray that combination again. I'm not sure how you did it the first time, but really the second one should be just spot sprays of some weeds that are a little bit more stubborn that aren't going away on the first hit of that combination. All right. Hope that helps, Lewis. Again, it's a great combo. You're not the only one that has good things to say about it. But again, I'm a big fan of using it as you need, and then focus on growing a great stand of turf grass, because that's like natural weed control. The best way to keep weeds out of your lawn is to grow a really thick and healthy lawn. All right. Next up is Two Gun Masters. I sent you an email from Alabama concerning dormant Bermuda that had long-term standing water on it, north side of the house with less sunlight. Thoughts on adding zoysia sod where the Bermuda is done? So if you have an area that it has a drainage problem, I would correct that before I decided to do any new sodding. So if you're saying that the area used to have an issue with standing water, you've since corrected that, and the area also doesn't get as much sunlight and you want to try zoysia, then sure, that would be good. But what I would not do is, until the drainage has been corrected, I would not take an area that when you get rainfall, water stays there for an extended period. And by extended, I mean like more than 24 hours. And go and put zoysia there, because zoysia is not going to do well at all. Like zoysia is a great grass, but it does not like being overwatered or oversaturated. So if you get an area that stays wet for a long period of time, you're not going to like zoysia. It's going to have disease problems. It's going to just be a headache to deal with. So as long as you've corrected the problem that's causing that area to not drain water, and you want to give zoysia a go, you can. But again, keep in mind, even though zoysia is more shade tolerant, it still needs sunlight. I mean, again, this is a great example. If you look at my lawn, you see towards further away from us as we go further down the sidewalk, you see how there's like almost like a clear line where it's more green, like a triangle shape where it's more green, and then it gets less green as it gets closer to us. That is due pretty much just to sunlight, due to shade, right? That the house casts in the morning. So that area that you see is greener gets more, probably 3 to 4 hours more sunlight than the area that is not quite as green yet. So even with a grass like zoysia that is more shade tolerant, it still does better with more sunlight. So I want you to still have at least 6 hours of direct sunlight in that area to have a good chance of growing a healthy stand of zoysia. So if that's the case, then you can give it a go. But again, I can't stress enough, if you get the drainage problems have to be fixed first before you go out and do that. All right. So hope that helps you, Gun Master. Thanks so much for the question. All right. Next up is DeSando says, is Celsius certainty okay to use around shrubs? As long as you don't get any of the overspray. Yeah. I mean, so it's designed, they're both turf. They're both herbicides designed for turf. You don't want to spray them or spray them on roses or other ornamentals or any kind of shrubs you may have. You want to limit that. So what I tell folks is, if you're going to be spraying weeds that are, say, between your lawn and say like a mulch bed, and you've got like flowers or plants in there that you don't want to potentially injure, is to use a piece of cardboard. So if you're spraying that area, like have a piece of cardboard as a barrier that you're holding to limit any drift from getting onto the leaf of the plants that you're not targeting. There are herbicides that are designed for use as sprays over ornamentals, like Fusilade 2 is an example of that, but it's not really a substitute for Celsius and Certainty, because you can't really use Fusilade on Bermuda grass. You will damage and or kill it. So it's actually used in a herbicide combination to remove Bermuda grass. So what I would tell you is if you're going to be spraying around shrubs, do it at a time when there's not a lot of wind to help minimize drift. And then second, if you're really concerned, get a piece of cardboard or something else to have a barrier as you're spraying that section to limit the drift. All right. Limit overspray onto the plants that you do not want damaged. So hope that helps, Desano. And again, lots of folks use that combination throughout all parts of their lawns, but again, you would not want to spray it on your ornamentals. It's designed for turf grass. All right. So great question. Hopefully that helps. Next up is Brett Curran. He says, getting my lawn sodded next month after you convinced me it was a proper time of year on the last live. Tifton, Bermuda. What's a good watering schedule / height of cut, and when can I apply different products? Great question, Brett. Okay, so as far as time of year, yeah, now is great as for Bermuda. As far as installing a new Bermuda lawn, you got plenty of temperature and daylight. Got a lot of season left, so now's a good time to do it. And we're also not going to get any. Well, we shouldn't get any more freezing temperatures for the rest of the year until we get into the winter time. So now is good. As far as a good watering schedule, for the first couple of weeks, you're going to water every day. You want to keep, the best way to describe it is you want the grass to be wet, to be damp, so it's not drying out, but not so much like if you step on it, like water's coming up, like is pushing up from the ground. Like that's too much water. So you want to keep it moist, don't let it dry out. If you do that for 2 weeks, you should be able to then start weaning it off, start slowing down or reducing the amount of watering. So if you're watering, say, twice a day, because that's what it takes in your area, depending on how hot it is, to be able to keep the sod from drying out. If you're doing it twice a day, maybe at the 2-week mark, you go down to once a day for a week, right? And then you can get closer to the schedule that you are that you use for the rest of the lawn. By the 3-week mark with Bermuda, it should be rooted in. Like if you go and you try and pick up a corner or an edge of the sod, it should be tacked down pretty well. So if that's the case, then you can begin backing off on the watering. Height of cut, it depends on what height of cut you want to maintain the lawn at, right? So when there's something to mow, you should mow the lawn. So there are people that go out there and they'll put a new lawn in and they won't mow it for weeks and weeks on end. Like a month will go by, 6 weeks will go by, they haven't put a mower on it. And I think that's personally a mistake. Mowing is a great tool to help encourage new growth in a lawn. So if the lawn is tacked down, it's beginning to root in, and you see new growth coming up on the sod, get out there and mow it. And then if you want, as far as height of cut, whatever height of cut you intend to maintain the lawn at, if you can get there without scalping the lawn, you can slowly work your height of cut down to that. So for example, my front lawn, which was probably 2 inches or so on the sod that came in, over the course of 2 weeks, I worked it down slowly to where you see it now, which is at 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75 inches. And that's where I'm going to leave it for the season. You know what I mean? And you can see there's new growth coming in. It's still nice and green in the areas that are getting plenty of sunlight. So when there's something to mow it. When it comes to your application of products like fertilizer, for foliar sprays, if you're doing like a little micronutrient or biostimulants, you can do that a couple of weeks afterwards. For granular fertilizer, I'd say 30 days. So because you're likely going to put out a fertilizer when you put the sod in, and then whenever a month or so has gone by that point you should be mowing it. Then you can start fertilizing it as you do with the rest of the lawn. So don't wait too long to get out there and mowing it. Once it starts tacking down and it's in good shape, get out there, put a mower on it, and then just work your height of cut slowly down to where you intend to maintain it. All right. Hope that helps, Brett. Enjoy the new sod. Again, now is a great time of year to do it. And the good thing is you're doing Bermuda. Bermuda is really, it's pretty hard to mess up Bermuda sod, right? Like I see there's one of my neighbors has an area that it's probably 15 feet by 15 feet, where he's putting in, there used to be a tree there. No, it used to be just like a mulch bed there, and he's putting sod there. And he's not even watering it that much. Like, when he put it down, he put fresh sod in, it was like brown. He maybe watered it, once a day, not for very long with a garden hose, not even irrigation. Just get out there with a garden hose, put a little water on it, and the Bermuda is still greening up. It's still coming in. So Bermuda is a really, as far as a grass that is fairly resilient, like you don't really have to necessarily get it 100% right and it's still going to be okay, Bermuda's a good choice. So yeah, I hope that helps, Brett. Congrats on the new lawn. Keep us posted as far as how it develops. All right, next up we got Mr. Robert Rainey in that live stream. He says, what's up? Good evening. What's going on, Robert? Hope you're doing all right, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out on a Thursday night. I know it's on our normal scheduled time, but I appreciate you coming by to say hello. Follow Rob Thomas says, evening, gang. What's going on, Follow Rob? And then next up is Demersky21. He has a question about the robot mowers, the Android mowers, the mowers that do not require human intervention in order to work. He says, Ron, what are your thoughts on robot mowers? I want to get into real mowing, but with a demanding job and a newborn, I don't have the time to mow multiple times per week. Should I stick with a rotary? Yes. If you don't have time to mow multiple times per week, you should not take up real mowing. It's probably not going to be for you. My thoughts on robot mowers, I think they fit a great bill. I mean, they fit a good, they solve a problem. For someone like you, if you got a demanding job, you got to work a lot of hours, you got a newborn that you got to help out with, then yeah. I mean, robot mowers gives you to quote Forrest Gump, it's like one less thing, right? You just put the mower out, set it up, and let it mow the lawn, and you don't have to really worry about it. For me, they are not for me because I enjoy mowing my grass. It is therapeutic. Like I do some of my best thinking when I'm out on the lawn just mowing it. So a robot mower is not something that I'd want to do because I don't look at mowing as a chore. Like I actually enjoy mowing my lawn. I probably mow it a little more frequently than I really need to, but I just enjoy it. So I think they're getting better and better. Like the newer ones. Before you used to put like a wire around your property to be able to let it know to limit where it went. The newer ones can work via GPS, which is kind of cool, right? So it's easier to set up. And I guess they solve a certain problem for certain people, for a type of person that doesn't have a lot of time to mow their grass. The thing to keep in mind, Demersky, even with rotary mowing, if you want your lawn to stand out, it needs to be cut more than once per week. So even with rotary mower, cutting it once a week, not really going to get it done as far as really getting that nice manicured golf course lawn look, especially when you get into the times of the year when it's hotter and the grass is growing more aggressively. So a robot mower is going to allow you to mow, I guess, every day technically, right? You could have it go out there every day, every other day and go mow the lawn, which is going to get you a nice looking lawn without the work. So yeah, I mean, for someone like you, probably a great fit. Someone like me that enjoys mowing my grass, I'm not ready to hand that over to a mower, to a robot mower just yet. So hope that helps. I don't have anything against robot mowers. It's just really not my thing. Not my thing. All right. Okay. Toucan Sam is up next. He says, hey Ron, drainage project underway, aerating and leveling with golf course sand after Mother's Day. Anything else I should do to the yard to recover faster from the drainage tear up or aeration? Mow it. No, I mean, so you're gonna do a drainage project. So I guess you're gonna be putting in a French drain or whatever you're doing, catch basin or something. Aeration, leveling. No, that's good. I mean, what I would say is put out a fertilizer as part of your lawn leveling project. So if I were doing this, you do the drainage. That's probably the most destructive part of this whole process. Aerate the lawn, and before you put sand down, put out like a nice granular biostimulant like carbonized PNG. Put out a good fertilizer to help encourage like new growth, help the lawn recover a bit faster. And then yeah, just let it run its course. Within a week or two, you should be able to put a mower back on it. And then just the more you mow it with sharp equipment, it's going to encourage it to fill in and fix any, fill in over any little bare areas that got a bit damaged from the work that you're doing in the lawn. So yeah, it sounds like you're doing a lot of things. The only thing I didn't see mentioned was was fertilizer and a nice biostimulant after the aeration, but prior to the leveling. All right, Toucan Sam. So great question. Hopefully that helps. Have fun with the project. Take pictures, man. Be sure to take pictures because again, it sounds like you're doing a lot of work, and the lawn will never look the same afterwards. So you want to be able to appreciate how far you have come, right? So take pictures of it. That's what I would tell you. All right, Kenny Cadow is up next. He says, hey, Ron and everyone, irrigation system is in. Congrats, dude. So here's the thing. It's not technically equipment, but we're still going to give you some dap for it. Still going to clap it up. Congrats on the new irrigation system. His next week I plan to aerate, soil conditioners, fertilize, and sand level. Season is kicking off. I like it. Very, very cool, Kenny. Very, very cool. If we can get you to start back in Georgia, instead of LSU. You know, I mean, you're still in the SEC. That would be the next thing, but we'll take what we can get. We'll take what we're getting. Congrats again on the irrigation system. It is a huge time saver. Like I tell folks that if you can spring for it whenever you're getting a new house built, definitely do it. And is it worth doing after the fact? In my opinion, yes. And now's a great time of year to do it because you got plenty of season for the lawn to recover from any damage that happens from putting in irrigation, right? So good stuff, man. All right, next up is Chris Rossi. He says, will my cool season grass cut around 2 1/4, 2.5 inches benefit from using growth regulator? Yes. Yeah, I mean, all plants will benefit from using growth regulator. So whenever I'm spraying my my lawn, right? If I have a little bit left over, I'll spray like the shrubs, and they'll still stop growing. They literally will like locks them in as far as they stop growing pretty much for like a month or so. Will your lawn being maintained at 2 1/4 and to 2.5 inches benefit from it? Yes. Yeah. You'll have to mow less. It's going to reduce how long or how quickly the grass grows. So if you want to reduce mowing frequency, then yes, PGR is worth considering. Absolutely. Absolutely, Chris. It's not just for lawns that are cut super short. I mean, the reason why you hear people that real mow their lawns talk about it so much is because if you're maintaining your lawn really under an inch, definitely under 3/4 of an inch or shorter, PGR is almost, growth regulators is almost something you almost have to do, especially when you get into the hotter times of the year, unless you want to get to the point where you're mowing it, you know, every day at the hottest times of the year. PGR really becomes something you really are going to want to have to do. And there are other benefits to it as well. As far as just increasing the hardiness of the grass, you get a slightly deeper color because you're not cutting off a leaf as much. So the older leaf tends to be a bit darker in color. So a byproduct of using growth regulator is your lawn can appear a bit darker, which is nice. And even a lawn that's being maintained at 2.5 inches will also benefit from using growth regulator if your goal is to mow less. All right. So yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, be sure to read the label when it comes to application rates for your particular cool season lawn. I've got in this blog post here on growth regulator, there's a section, the rate table also has some guidance for cool season lawns as well. I didn't leave you guys out. So if you decide to apply them the way that I do, which is every couple of weeks, you'll likely get some value out of this. All right. So take a look right there, Chris. I'm going to send you the link and you should be all set. All right. Cheryl Battle is up next. She says, hey, Ron, good evening, sir. I have some concentrated spots of Kikuyu grass in my Bermuda grass, at least according to Google Lens. Was wondering if spot spraying with certainty is the way to go. Yeah, I don't think certainty is going to control Kikuyu grass. I mean, I almost think it's labeled for use on Kikuyu grass. Let me check, make sure I'm not fibbing here. I'm not telling you a lie, but I'm almost positive that's on the label. Let's look here. Let's look at the certainty label. Yep, sure is. Okay, so if you look right here, it says this product has been shown to be safe for use on established grasses. Listen to this section. To include the almighty Bermuda grass, Bahia grass, buffalo grass, centipede grass, zoysia grass, seashore paspalum, St. Augustine grass, and Kikuyu grass. So it will not, if your goal is to control Kikuyu grass, certainty is not the way to do it. Again, I don't know of a way to control, to selectively control Kikuyu grass in Bermuda. There might be a herbicide to do it, but not one that I'm aware of. You may, if it's in just like concentrated spots like you're saying, glyphosate. You know, you may just limit the spray to those areas and use that to kill it off, and then that's going to allow the Bermuda to spread into those areas. Or you could plug those areas with your existing lawn, and that will be a way to help displace the Kikuyu grass and get the Bermuda to be the one stand of grass you got in your lawn. So don't use certainty. You'll be wasting your money. It's not going to kill Kikuyu grass. All right. So I hope that helps. Cheryl, and keep us posted as far as how it does. My Rye MU Entertainment says super chats off tonight. No, they've been off for like a month or so, or probably a little longer than that. So the way you'd want to, if you want to contribute to the channel, you can use Cash App. I'm still having a problem with AdSense, and I mean, just waiting for a response from Google as far as what they're going to do about it. So in the meantime, if you want to support the channel, You can donate via Cash App. I will get a notification on my phone if you do, which I've got right here. And if I see that, I'll put you up as the show sponsors. Like Archie's done it, Ted Rogers have done it. So I've got my phone here, so I'll be able to see if and when you do your donation via Cash App, and we'll get you all squared up. All right. So hopefully that helps, sir. I know it's kind of less convenient, but that's what we are dealing with for the moment. All right. All right. Shane Keel is up next. He says, I hydroseeded in late summer with Bermuda Sahara 2 and had a good stand. Nice. This year it is 100% brown and looks dead. The sod is all greened up. Do I have to start all over in North Alabama? I mean, so you hydroseeded in the summer. It came in. So it might, I mean, it's kind of late for it to still be 100% dormant. Yeah, I mean, April, I can't see Bermuda still being 100% dormant in this late in the season, Shane. I mean, you can give it a little bit more time and see, but yeah, April, your lawn should be waking up again, assuming it's getting enough sunlight. If it did well last year, because it sounds like you did it in the summer, I would imagine that it should be greening up by now. So your sod is doing well. The area you seeded is not doing well. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you lost a lot of it during the winter, but even then, I would still expect some of it to come back. I wouldn't imagine like the entire area that you hydroseeded would all be dead uniformly. You know what I mean? So give it a bit more time. Give it more time and see. But again, I would have expected that by now you would have you'd have seen some of it greening up. All right. So yeah, so sorry, I'm not gonna help on that. Sorry, that kind of stinks. This might be a sign. Maybe it's a sign to get rid of the hydroseeded part of Bermuda and just kind of resaw and just saw that area with the existing sod you already have. Right, that could be an option. We did get a Cash App. This one is from Mr. Andrew Flores. Thanks so much, Andrew. So let me get you up here, get you all set up. Your name in lights, whatever that means to you. You'll be our show sponsor. See, I just got an email for it. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. And there you go. Your name in lights. You can say, everybody, look, guys, I'm internet famous. My name is right here on the live stream. I'm keeping the lights on for the show, right? The show would be shut down were it not for me. So that's your claim to fame right now. All right. Next up is Emmanuel Jacobs. He says, evening, Ron. Ever since I bought my manual reel mower, I've been loving the quality of cut. However, I've been noticing a lot of rippling in my lawn. How do I prevent this washboarding effect? So some of that is your technique. So if you are going too fast, if you're moving too fast with the manual push mower, that could cause some rippling. If the height of cut is set too low, like if you're not mowing it frequently enough, so you're taking off too much, that will also cause some of the washboarding you're talking about. So try changing your walking pace, and also look into not waiting so long in between mows. Like powered reel mowers, manual reel mowers do a better job if you're only taking off a little bit each time. So typically when you get washboarding is you're waiting too long in between cuts, or your walking pace, like you're going too fast and it's not able to do a good job cutting the lawn. So hopefully that helps, Emmanuel. That's the only time I've ever experienced those types of problems. With a powered reel mower, you can also get washboarding as well too. Like if the mower's not sharp, and if you have a mower where it's not like a greens mower, where the speed at which the mower is moving is not linked to the speed at which the reel spins, so like the clip rate isn't fixed. In those cases, you can get that as well too. So for example, if when I had my True Cut, and especially if it wasn't like as sharp as it should have been, if I started moving too fast, that would also cause, I'd also get some washboarding, some rippling in the lawn. So play with those two things: increase your mowing frequency, and possibly raise the height of cut a little bit, and also check your pace, like your pace at which you're moving. Between those three, you should be able to get it under control. All right. Hope that helps, sir. And then again, this is a sign. Once you decide that reel mowing is for you, Emmanuel, we're gonna have to move you into a power reel mower at some point, because as much as you love the cut quality with the manual, the power reel mower is like another level. So like think about it. Like rotary was good, and then manual reel mower was better, and then like going from manual reel mower to power reel mower is like it'd be an order of magnitude, like maybe even two better. It's going to be a big difference, big jump in cut quality. So something to consider. All right, next up is Will Covey. He says, how do I send you photos of my lawn to look at? I have a question. You would email them during the show. So Ron at Golf Course Lawn is my email address right there. So if you send me pictures, ideally before the show, because during the show, it's much more difficult for me to get them on. So if you are looking to, if you send a picture during the show, I may or may not be able to. For example, someone just emailed me a picture here, and like the picture's like 15 megs in size, right? Way too big for my for the software. I have to like go through and resize it. So if you want to definitely get your pictures on the show, email them like the day of, like after lunch, before the show, but after lunch. 'Cause that's when I sit a few hours before I get down in front of my computer and get all the emails and put them together, pictures together, and get them formatted properly to get them on the show. But if you email me here at ron@golfcourselawn.com, I'll take a look and let you know what you think. The only thing I ask is if you're sending me an email with pictures or you have a particular question, like make it concise. Like there's some folks that'll send me like, War and Peace about their lawn without any formatting, no paragraphs, anything like that. And it's just too much. Like I get a wall of text. It's just, it just goes to the bottom of the list for me to read it. So ask your question, be concise about it, have pictures about what you're doing, and I'll do my best to get an answer for you, because I get a lot of email this time of year. So if you do that, I'll do my best to help you out. All right. Okay. Next up is Craig Jones. He says, thanks, Ron, for all your information. No problem at all, Craig. Thank you for taking the time to come hang out on a Thursday night. I know there's other places you could be. Shane Keel is up next. He says, Arden 15 discontinued. Yes, it has been for a number of years. What is the best comparison with good results? Yukon has bad reviews on germination success. I can't tell you, Shane. So really, after Arden 15, I haven't really been looking closely at a lot of Bermuda grass seed. For most people, I recommend sod. Like Andrew Flores did a great job growing his lawn from grass seed. I think he did Royal TX or something is what he is. I think the blend that he uses, and it came in pretty nicely. But yeah, I can't recommend one now from direct experience because I haven't used any of them. For most people, sod is just the way to go. You're gonna get a lawn faster. You have access to what I think are better cultivars, like you get Tahoma 31, Celebration, Tiff Tough. You get like finer leaf. I mean, better color, better drought resistance, better cold tolerance. I mean, the sods, the sod of Bermudas are much nicer, in my opinion, than any of the improved commons, which is what you get out of grass seed. So I don't have a recommendation for you, but I'd really try and push you to move towards sod if you can. All right, Michael Raymond says, do you prefer hydrotane or foreplay? They're both great. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Hydrotane is strictly a moisture manager. So if you're looking for a way to reduce the amount of watering and help your lawn be more resistant to drought conditions, especially as we get into the hotter times of year, then hydrotane is a good choice. If you have localized dry spots, then foreplay is a better choice, because foreplay is, there's kelp, humate, I think there's surfactant, and there's also some hydrotane in it. So there's 4 products or 4 ingredients in foreplay, with hydrotane being one of them. So it depends on what you're after. They're designed to solve different problems. Like foreplay is designed, again, to correct localized dry spots in your lawn, whereas hydrotane is really more of a moisture manager that you use every 60 to 90 days to help reduce watering requirements. So I like them both. Depending on what you are trying to accomplish, Michael, you would choose accordingly. On my lawn, I primarily use hydrotane. I used foreplay last year. I tested it out in an area. I should show you really quickly where I actually did it, and I like the results I got with it. So if you look at my back lawn, on the left side of this video, it's not showing about that well right now. Let me see if I can get a better video of you so I can show you what I'm talking about. There is a section of my back lawn that is almost like a slight half pipe, almost like a little, yeah, there we go, right there. Cool, great picture right there. Okay, so this is from last week. You see where it is slightly brown in the background, near where those junipers are. So it's a combination of shade, but also that area just does not hold water as well as the rest of the lawn, because as you can see, it's a slight slope. So last year I used foreplay in that section, and it did a really good job getting it to green up and evening everything out. So that's a case of where foreplay would be a great like a spot fix, but then hydrotain over the entire lawn. All right. So hope that helps, Michael. Another benefit to hydrotain over foreplay is foreplay is only currently available as a liquid, whereas hydrotain can be used as a granular or liquid. And for the most part of my lawn, I use the granular hydrotain, and then foreplay, I just go out there and spot spray just those areas that don't hold as much water due to being sloped. All right. All right, Toucan Sam is up next. He says, I've also been real mowing twice per week. But I barely get any clippings. Is that normal, or should I up the height? I'm currently mowing at 3/8. I have Bermuda, by the way. So you're mowing just above 1/4 of an inch twice per week, and you're not getting any clippings. I mean, I guess maybe if it's cooler where you are, if you're using growth regulator and the lawn isn't growing as quickly, that could be it. At this point now, when I'm mowing my lawn, I can mow the entire lawn, not the front lawn, because there were still clippings coming off of that when I was stepping the height to cut down. But I could mow the vanity strip and the entire back lawn, and the grass catcher would only get about 1/4 of the way full with a Greensmaster 1600, and it doesn't have a very big grass catcher. So the grass is not growing that aggressively as yet this time of year because it's not quite hot enough yet. Like the low temperatures isn't quite hot enough to really make Bermuda grow really aggressively. So highly unlikely you're going to be able to maintain real mowing twice per week if you're mowing at 3/8, which again, just above 1/4 of an inch, which is really, really short. Kind of surprised you're getting by with twice per week mowing at that height of cut. But at any rate, it's not going to work 4 weeks from now. 3-4 weeks from now, you're going to have to increase your mowing frequency if you intend to maintain your lawn at that height of cut, because that's really short. Okay, Julius Elliott says, how can you get rid of flies? You can use insecticide. So a good option for that, like the Miramichi organic pest control or non-toxic pest control, is a good option for that, Julius. And the nice thing is it doesn't really, you don't really have to worry too much about being able to get back in the lawn after you are done. So this is what I would move you towards here. The non-toxic pest control, like you can spray it, and literally once it dries, you can re-enter the area. It smells kind of like has like a citrus smell to it, kind of like Pledge, but not quite as strong. So yeah, great product. It does mosquitoes, spiders, Japanese beetles, white flies, ants, fleas, no-see-ums, chinch bugs, aphids, and more. Great product. So if you're looking for a non-toxic way of keeping mosquitoes out of your lawn, keeping ants out of your lawn, flies, great product. So this is what I would move you towards if that's what you're after. So take a look at this, Julius. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. All right. Next up is let's see here. Next up we have Desando. He says, can you over apply chelated iron? Yes. I mean, you can over apply anything on your lawn. So yes, you can over apply it. And I've done an experiment with this probably almost 5 years ago at this point, when I was using Milorganite, heavy application of Milorganite, and a product that I don't use anymore, called Brand Supreme Green. It's an older product. It's like a higher iron product. And what you'll find if you overdo it is the lawn will first get a nice, like crazy dark green, and then it turns to like almost like a grayish purple color. It's probably what I would describe. And then it reverses. It goes back to green and then back to the normal color. So just don't overdo it. I mean, there's no reason to really over apply iron. We have a micronutrient that has 2% iron in it. If you're spraying that at low rates every couple of weeks, you're gonna have plenty of green. I mean, what you're seeing here is a light application of iron every couple of weeks, along with my growth regulator and everything else that I spray, and the color looks good to my eye. So I would not overdo it. You can over apply iron, just like you can over apply nitrogen, you can over apply water, you can over apply anything. So stick to the rates of whatever product it is that you happen to be using, and you should be good to go. And I'm looking here. It looks like Brandon. Thanks so much, Brandon. He gave a note about the person that asked about Kikuyu grass in Bermuda, and he says that quinclorac can be used to suppress it. So let me get this really quickly. I'll get your comment here, Brandon. this one. He says, so not to kill it necessarily, but he used to suppress Kikuyu grass. You said, I used it on a property I managed 2 years ago successfully. I haven't had it come back. So cool. I learned something new today. Thanks for that, Brandon. So for everyone that was asking about Kikuyu grass or getting rid of Kikuyu grass in a Bermuda grass lawn, again, I've not tested this personally myself, but Brandon is saying that quinclorac will do it. So worth a try. Worth a try. Less damaging than glyphosate for sure, because Bermuda will tolerate glyphosate, and apparently Bermuda grass will tolerate quinclorac. But apparently Kikuyu grass will not tolerate quinclorac. So yeah, Bermuda doesn't tolerate glyphosate. Not much tolerates glyphosate. All right. Next up we have Diamond. He says at Shane, Rio, Bermuda, Monaco, or Iron Cutter as far as other grass seeds. Jared George says, thanks, Ron. I have some places I have no intention of mowing or keeping up, and I like having grass there. And in fact, I like it a bit longer, but I don't want it to jungle on me. I mean, well, here's the thing. Growth regulator is not a magic bullet. Like the grass still grows. It just grows more slowly. So if you want to get to the point where you're mowing it, I don't know, you mow your grass twice. For every 2 times you mow your lawn, you're mowing that 1 time. Like growth, like PGR will allow you to do that, but it's not like you apply PGR and then the grass is going to grow to a certain height and never move anymore. That's not really a thing. So, yeah, I mean, try it out, see if you like the results you get with it, but you're still going to have to mow your grass. I mean, if you think about it, it'd be pretty dangerous if you could if like a plant growth regulator were produced where you spray your lawn and it would no longer grow, like it really like arrested growth to where it could stop growth 100%. Even if it's for like, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, right? Like to where there's no growth at all happen. That would not be good, because if you had any kind of damage to the lawn, the chance of it recovering from that is not going to be as good. So yeah, I mean, you want it to still grow, just slower, right? All right, Antoine Clacken is up next. Says, happy Thursday, everyone. Hit that like button. Yeah, guys, we got 87 people here in the live stream. I know we were up higher earlier, and only 69 likes. So if you're getting some value out of the content, I know it's a Thursday night, not our normal time, but if you can hit that like button, I would really, really appreciate it. It's a free way to support the channel, sends good vibes to the algorithm, and gets more folks to come and hang out with us, right? Ryan, thank you so much for the super chat. You said to check out the email. I will check out your email here at the this actually is small enough. I'm not sure what your question is, Ryan. You said just check out the email, but I don't see what you're asking me to look at. It looks like it's very, very bare. Some bare spots. So I mean, I could bring the picture up here real quick and we can talk about it, but I'm not. You said you didn't give me any insight as to the why behind the picture, other than it's like you sent me a picture of your lawn. All right, but we can show everybody like what you are dealing with here. So this is his lawn, and you got like a big. It's bare. I don't know. Did you do this, or is this from running equipment over it? It looks like you've got like a Sunjo or something like that in the background. So I'm not sure what you did there, or if you're preparing this for like seeding or what's going on. But it's outside of what appears to be a few weeds here and there. It looks pretty bare. So I'm not sure what the question is behind this. You just sent me pictures, but no context. So if you want to email me as far as what you're looking for, I can answer you after the show. Okay. Raymond Warren's up next. Are the use Spectricide, or you use Spectricide with the orange cap? How long should I wait before I use my Celsius? I would do one or the other. Like, I mean, so Spectricide, it's a decent herbicide, but I mean, I would not go out and spray that and then also go spray Celsius right afterwards. Like really, Celsius is going to do a pretty good job cleaning up broadleaf weeds in your lawn. So I would do like either or. Like I would give it at least 3 weeks between the application of either product before I did the other ones. If you already sprayed Spectricide on your lawn, then at least 3 weeks before you go out and spray Celsius. I would not want you to overdo it and potentially get some yellowing or damage in your lawn. You know what I mean? So yeah, I will, just don't overdo it. 3 weeks between post-emergent herbicide apps is what I would recommend. 1 second here. All right. So next up we got White Glove PC. He says, Ron, seeding Bermuda next month. Just finished spraying annual rye. I seeded on bare dirt last fall. I will need to bring some topsoil in before seeding. Should I power rake the dead rye out beforehand? If you can, yeah. I mean, the cleaner you can get the lawn, the better the result you're going to get. So yes, I mean, if you can get all the old material out, that would be good. That would be good. So yes, hope that helps. White Glove PC. All right. Next up is Tiger is up. This question is, what do you think? How do you think Cobalt St. Augustine compares to Viridia St. Augustine? I cannot speak on either of those because I couldn't tell them apart if you showed them to me. I don't know that much about St. Augustine grass. That would be like an Alan Hain lawn care nut type question because he's a St. Augustine guy. So I can't tell you for sure on that one, Tiger. All right, Diamond, that's not for me. Higgy pops in the live stream. He says, happy Thursday. Have a great show, Ron. Thank you for all your help. You're very, very welcome, Higgy. Again, it's a couple times a year. Show gets moved to a Thursday night because of like martial arts stuff. So this is one of those weekends here in the springtime when that happens. All right, Michael Raymond is up next. He says, how many passes to core aerate really compacted turf? Is early May too early for aerate and level mix? The answer is yes. How many passes? Yes, a bunch. So for example, this past weekend, we did my buddy Lee's lawn, and on the back lawn, probably like 5 or 6 passes. So yeah, just if it's really compacted, just beat it up, because especially if you're using like one of those like a Ryan or one of the ones that you will rent, they don't necessarily on a really compacted lawn, like one pass is not really enough. So in his case, we made passes, multiple passes all over the entire lawn. I mean, the back lawn, conservatively like 5 passes, probably more. So I was literally just doing laps. Like I had like a little track where the aerator would just keep moving. Actually, I can show you guys. And I see you guys can see me running an aerator on his lawn this past week. So you can actually see the path that I took. Maybe if I can find it. Let's see here. It is right. Man, I got a lot of shorts. Right here. There it is. Okay. So this is me running. Nope, that's the wrong one. This is me running the aerator on, there it is, on his lawn the 17th. So a little over a week ago, right? Let me get this queued up here so you guys can actually see it. Let's see how this works. All right. So right there. So you can see this is like a class, and he didn't get the Ryan, but literally we had like a little circuit that I would go, and so that was the front lawn going to the side lawn, and now we're at his back lawn, and then I would just loop around and just go back and do that over and over and over and over again, just slightly overlapping each time. So I would move the aerator a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, and you see I was sitting there looking down, just looking to see like how the cores are getting punched, like how tightly spaced all the holes were, and we just did that over and over and over and over and over again. So again, 5 or 6 passes easily in the back lawn is what was done to produce that. So to answer your question, Michael, a lot. The more you can do, especially if you're using something like that, that's not like a Procore, like a Toro Procore, or like a ride-on aerator. Like a ride-on aerator, you can make like 1 pass, because those the tines are a lot tighter spaced, and they tend to punch deeper cores. But for one of those, like one of the rented ones, which don't tend to produce cores much longer than 2 to 3 inches, and they are a bit lighter, multiple passes, which you're going to want. Okay. So hopefully that helps. All right. Andre Taylor is up next. He says, evening, Ron. Happy Thursday. Any objections to splitting granular fertilizer? So half monthly application, applied twice per month. I notice when I apply once, it seems to fade a bit by the next month. No, not necessarily. I mean, I don't do that because I use the liquids to help prevent that. So what happens is I will apply the granular one time at the beginning of the month, and then I will spray the liquids every 2 weeks. And that evens out what you're talking about as far as like the color beginning to fall off as the month progresses. So if you want to apply fertilizer, like take I guess for example, if you're doing humic max, um, if you're applying it at 3 pounds per thousand once per month, I guess you could apply it at 1 or 1.5 pounds every 2 weeks. That seems like a lot of work. It seems like more work, but try it out. If you want to give it a shot, give it a go. If it's working well for you, that would be fine as well. But I mean, what I do is the granular once per month, the liquids every 2 weeks, and that does a great job as far as evening out the growth and color and that type of thing. So hope that helps, Andre. Give it a go. Keep us posted as far as your results. It's just a lot of work that I don't necessarily know would be worth the results that you may or may not get from it. All right. All right. Next up is Lewis P. Lewis P86. He says, would you advise an entry-level reel mower to jump to a Greensmore Revolution 26 California trimmer? So this is the question. Would you advise an entry-level reel mower or a jump to a Greensmaster or a Revolution 26 / California trimmer? It depends. So as far as the difference between a greens mower and everything else, greens mowers are going to produce the best cut. They're going to be the most consistent. They're going to hold their settings better. They tend to be better built machines because you're really talking about a mower that's like a 5-figure mower, brand new, even though you're getting it for a lot less than that. But the parts for them will be more expensive. The maintenance is more expensive, and you have to make sure you can find someone in your area that can sharpen them, that can take care of them. The Revolution 26, man, as far as between like the True Cut, California trimmer, McLean, Swardman, the Rolux, I mean, for me, out of those mowers, pretty much out of the mowers that are not like the cartridge system mowers, and they're not a greens mower, the Revolution 26 is the one that I like the most. As far as it not needing really anything, it comes with a great roller. The drive system is set up nicely. It's a chain driven system. The mower is nicely balanced, so you don't have to worry about like it cutting like lower on one side than the other. It's balanced right to left and also front to back. So just overall, it just produces a really good cut. Yeah, it's a great mower, and it's probably a bit easier to deal with or live with than like a greens mower, right? So if you're looking for something that approaches what a greens mower can do, then the Revolution is a good choice in my opinion. But again, if you're looking for the absolute best cut, a greens mower is what you're going to want to go with, and just a mower that's going to hold its settings throughout the entire season. It's really tough to beat a greens mower, but like anything else, you get what you pay for, right? They are a lot more expensive to purchase if you're buying one brand new, and if you are buying one used and you got to buy parts for it, they're a lot more expensive to repair if you're using genuine parts versus, like, again, the other mowers you mentioned. All right, Lewis. So really depends on you. I love my Revolution. I love my Greens Master. I mean, they're both great mowers, but the Greens Master is the best cutting mower that I currently own. Next up is Michael Thomason. He says, Ron, another question. I am fully retired and like mowing my lawn. That's a good combination. A lot of time and like mowing your grass. LOL, I could do it every day. Any benefits of using PGR? Yeah, still. I mean, just the color. I mean, the color is going to be a bit better, in my opinion, if you are using a growth regulator. But if you want to mow your grass every single day, do you have to use growth regulator? No. But I think I mean, outside of just reducing mowing frequency, there are other benefits to growth regulator that I think make them worth adding in your program. You know what I mean? So it's really up to you. Even here, what you'll find is even if you decide you want to mow every day or every other day. In my case, I'm mowing every other day right now, and I don't necessarily have to, but I just do because I like doing it. And again, I mow the entire lawn outside of the front, and the grass catcher is only about a quarter of the way full. So even with growth regulator, there's still clippings that come off of not quite 11,000, say call it 9,000 square feet or so. So I'm leaving the front lawn out. So it's not like it stops the grass from growing altogether, but the clippings are a lot less. So play with it. I mean, what you can do, Michael, is you can get yourself a bottle of Primo, try it out, like do an application and see how the lawn looks. If you like how it looks, see if if you like to get all your clippings, you're not getting any, you can just not use it anymore. And the lawn in 3 or 4 weeks is going to come out of regulation. Like another benefit though of growth regulator is seed head suppression. So you didn't say what kind of grass you have, but if you have like Bermuda or Zoysia, as it starts getting hotter, seed heads are going to be a thing. Around here, in particular, it's in May. Although I was over at the Real Rollers Turf Park the other day, and they're let me see, they have Zeon and I think it's El Toro. They're El Toro. Their wide leaf zoysia, sodded plot is already got seed heads coming through, right? So growth regulator would help reduce that. So it's another benefit of it outside of just reduced mowing. So play with it, try it out and see how it does. And if you don't like it, it's a temporary thing. Sheed says, I didn't know MSM harms Bermuda. How long does it generally take to recover? Any advice? It depends on the application rate that you used, and like if you heavily over applied it, that's gonna take longer for it to recover from the damage. Normally a few weeks is what I would say. And then as far as advice, just keep mowing it. Mow it. That's going to encourage new growth. Continue feeding it. Like don't over fertilize it, but keep up with your normal fertilization schedule. Keep up with your mowing schedule, and that's going to help the lawn to recover. And unless the weed that you are targeting is one that MSM turf is particularly good at, I would encourage you to move to something like Celsius for broadleaf weed control in your Bermuda lawn. And for sedges, I would have you move to Certainty, because those are two herbicides that, although they're a little more expensive, they do a great job cleaning up weeds in your lawn, and they in general do not discolor your grass if you apply them at the correct rates compared to like something like Dismiss, right? Or MSM. So just give it time. It'll bounce back. I'm sure, unless you went crazy with the application, you highly unlikely that you killed your grass. It's just gonna look ugly for a while. All right, Chris Dion is up next. I'm going to start using the stress blend fertilizer from your site. How would you apply the micronutrients and liquid fertilizer at what rate? Or would you recommend something else? Thanks, partner. Great question, Chris. So if you're going to be doing the 12-0-24 and then our liquid fertilizer and micros, here's how I would do it. I would apply the 12-0-24 once per month, say at the beginning of the month. And then I would spray the 22-3 and micros every 2 weeks. So if the rate on per the label is got you spraying the liquids at 6 ounces per thousand for the micronutrient and 6 ounces per thousand for the 22-3. If you are mixing them, you can reduce the rate on the micronutrient by a little bit, because the 22-3 has some iron in it already. So while you can spray them both at 6 ounces per thousand, you can actually save a little bit of product, save a little bit of micronutrient. You get a few more applications if you spray it at, say, 3 ounces per thousand. So what I would do if you're trying to maximize your investment, get the most applications out of it, is apply the 12-0-24 once per month at 4 pounds per thousand, and then spray the liquids, the 22-3, 6 ounces per thousand, and then the micros 3 ounces per thousand when you're mixing it with the 22-3. All right, and that's going to produce a good result. You're going to get great color out of it, and you'll get a few applications extra out of the micros. Now, if you don't care about that, you say, forget that, man. I want the deepest green possible. I don't care about saving 3 ounces. Then you can apply them both at 6 ounces per thousand. A lot of folks do that, even though I tell them, hey, you can actually back it off a little bit if you want to. It's like, nah, man, I want as green as possible. If that's you, just follow the label, spray them both at 6 ounces per thousand, and you'll be fine. All right. So hope that helps, sir. If you have any questions, once you get everything, feel free to reach out to me. I or someone else will email you back and tell you and answer your question. More than likely, if it's a question about rates, it'll probably be me. But yeah, again, once per month on the granular, every 2 weeks on the liquids. All right. Hopefully that helps. All right. Next up, we have Daniel Standafair. He says, is there an easy way to tell between crabgrass and Dallas grass without letting it get long enough for seed heads? Yeah, I mean, let's look here. Let me see if I can get you a picture of each of them. I don't really think Dallas grass and crabgrass look I mean, they're similar, but not so, like Dallas grass tends to grow Dallas grass tends to grow more out than crabgrass does, in my opinion. But let's get a picture of both of them. You can crab. You can take a look. You can take a look and you can see. All right. So this is. Let's get an image up. A good picture. So this is Dallas grass, right? So that's a Dallas grass. And then that is Dallas grass too. Hang on a second. Let me get you back here. Let me get the picture of crabgrass up. Yeah, I mean, they look, I guess they're similar, but they don't look that similar to me, man. Like crabgrass is a bit finer as far as the blade, but let's show them both here. Okay, so this is that's your crabgrass, that is your Dallas grass. To me, like, while they both grow out, like Dallas grass tends, in my opinion, when I see it, it tends to grow flatter and more out than Dallas grass does grow flatter and more out than crabgrass does. I mean, I guess they do look somewhat similar, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you can wait until they go to seed heads. Another thing is you can spray, if you use quinclorac, it's not going to do anything against Dallas grass, where it will have an effect against crabgrass. So that's I guess another easy way to tell if you don't want to wait for it to go to seed heads. This time of year, I mean, you can have either one of them in your lawn, but if you've got crabgrass, controlling it now is easier than waiting till it gets to the point where it's mature enough to get to seed heads. Like whenever you can get on crabgrass before, in my opinion, before like June, July timeframe, you're gonna get a better result, better control with quinclorac versus when it's more mature. And again, quinclorac's not gonna really do a whole lot against Dallas grass. I don't even know if quinclorac will even yellow Dallas grass, but crabgrass it will. So if you think you have crabgrass, Daniel, spray it with quinclorac, and then Dallas grass, dig it out. That'd be what I would tell you. There's probably a better way of identifying them without it going to seed heads. I want to say some folks who said that the Dallas grass also has like a bit of purple in the stem, whereas crabgrass does not have that. But looking at the pictures, they do look fairly similar. But I would still hold that Dallas grass tends to grow flatter and more out, and crabgrass is more tends to grow more in clumps. But looking at the pictures, they do look. I can see how you could confuse them. But quinclorac will do one, but not the other. So hopefully that helps, man. Not sorry, I don't have a better answer for you on this. But if you're trying to control crabgrass, use quinclorac, and Dallas grass, dig it out. Okay, Adam Starks is up next. He says, "Hey, Ron and Lawn Crew, just saying hello. What's going on, Adam? Hopefully all is going well with you." And then Shane says, "If you have 35,000 square feet to sod, can you plug it? And what would you fill the bare spots with until it fills in?" You 35,000 square feet to sod, man, that's going to be expensive. Can you plug it? Yes. I mean, if it's Bermuda grass, you could actually do Bermuda grass. And then as far as the bare areas, nothing. The idea is that you're gonna put like the plugs or little patches of sod close enough that they will eventually creep and fill in. But in the meantime, nothing, right? Like anything you would try and grow there is going to compete with the Bermuda grass. So if you got 35,000 square feet and you're going to try and do it with, like, I guess, patches of sod, you're not going to sod the entire thing, because I guess that would be pretty expensive. You would not do a whole lot. You just let the sod run and fill in over time. Next up is Ruben Texiera. He says, "Hey, Ron, happy Thursday. No more Friday. Just tonight, man. Just tonight. Next week we'll be back to our normal time on Friday night." He says, "I use crabgrass pre-emergent in early April, but I still see some crabgrass. Any suggestions?" Yeah, if you use crabgrass, a pre-emergent for crabgrass, or a pre-emergent in April, the crabgrass you're seeing now started germinating before you put the pre-emergent out. So to prevent crabgrass or get good control against it, you want to have the pre-emergent applied and watered in before the average 5-day soil temperature in your area is in the mid-50s. And if you did this in early April, it's definitely been warmer than that since then. I mean, so yeah, what you're dealing with now is what started germinating before, and what I would suggest is just to use quinclorac. Use this to get rid of it. So if you go to the golf course lawn store, go to shop and weed killer, and scroll down and scroll down. This is what I would go with. So quinclorac, this is the stuff to use against crabgrass. And the nice thing, Reuben, is that it's relatively young because we're earlier in the season. It's much easier to control now than if you wait later in the season. For best results, you absolutely are going to want to use surfactant along with this. So quinclorac and surfactant is going to be your jam to get crabgrass under control. So hopefully that helps, sir. Sorry you're dealing with that, but it's still early enough in the season that you can correct it. Still early enough to fix, which is nice. Next year, I'd say get your pre-emergent out earlier. Like, I mean, worst case, like March, early March timeframe. I mean, when it comes to pre-emergent, a bit early is better than a bit late. Like some people have this thing where they want to wait until, well, now the 5-day or the soil temperatures are now in the mid 50s. Time for pre-emergent. Like, there's no reason to wait for that. Like, wait, like whenever your soil temps are high 40s, low 50s, you know, even if you're a week, 2 weeks early, 3 weeks early, it's still better to have it applied and in the soil earlier than later. Like, don't wait until the conditions are exactly that, because you still got to apply it, you got to water it in, it's got to work its way down the soil, and then it's got to begin working to kill the roots of any new weeds that are starting to germinate. So just go a bit earlier, and then you don't have to deal with that. All right, Jocelyn Y. Buckley's up next. She says, good evening, Ron. Glad you like my pictures. Kentucky bluegrass. Can I apply fertilizer and Essential G when the season changes instead of monthly, since my lawn is doing so great now? Your call. I would continue to feed it monthly. Let me get your pictures pulled up here, Jocelyn, because this is crazy, man. But whoever says you can't grow grass in the desert, Kentucky bluegrass at that, has never seen your lawn. It's pretty incredible. So let me show the folks here what you're working with. And again, you can see the rest of your back lawn to show that you really are in New Mexico. You're really in like desert climate. So she got like, she grew her little patch of KBG, and it looks pretty solid. So take a look here. So you can see definitely desert, arid climate. She's got, I don't even know how big that is, Jocelyn, but maybe 20 feet by 30 feet of Kentucky bluegrass. And you can see all around it is basically rocks and cacti and like other desert plants, but it looks solid. It looks clean. Looks really good, especially given the climate of where you are. If it were me, I would still stick with what's working. Like if you, applying Essential G monthly and then fertilizing it monthly is going to help, is producing that result. I really wouldn't move away from that. I mean, if you want to, I guess you can, but I mean, like, it's working, so why change what's working? This is what my argument. So no, I would continue doing what you're doing because it's producing a really good result. Again, the contrast is really cool, showing how you've got, again, pretty much a rock garden and cactuses, or cacti, and then you've got this little patch of Kentucky bluegrass carpet, which is pretty awesome. So keep it going, man. I want to see how well it does throughout the rest of the season. So I would keep doing what you're doing. I would not change it because it's working really well. McNasty Motorsports is up next. He says, howdy, Ron. Do you recommend wood screws or duct tape to fix a fallen tree? Okay. Your Zoya's coming in nicely. I can't wait to see how it's looking the next couple of weeks. I don't understand if this is a real question. I don't know, man. I think if a tree's fallen down, that's kind of like nature's way of saying it's time just to take it out and, either grow some grass there or put it, or if you're, heaven forbid, you can put a new tree in if you want to. But I don't know that I would try and use duct tape or screws to put it back together if it were me. So, yeah, I think it's a sign. The tree has run its course. All right. Let's see here. Ryan, I'll answer your email once. I'll email you back once the show's over, because all I have is a picture, and I don't see the other one that you sent to me. Ryan Entertainment. He says, can I combine Spectricide and Image to get a budget version of Celsius and Certainty? No, they are not the same. The active ingredients aren't the same. And no, just no. The like Spectricide and Image are not the same thing as Celsius and Certainty. They are not the same. Like Image needs to be watered in. It's a much slower working herbicide. It's no, they're just like they're not the same products. Like the active ingredients are different. And to answer your question, no, they are not. You can't make Celsius and Certainty using Spectricide and Image. All right, next up is White Glove PC. Says, is it a bad idea to aerate prior to Bermuda seeding, Ron? I've heard you can bury the seeds by too much by doing so. My plan is just to power rake, topsoil, level, seed, roll it in, and fertilize. Yeah, I mean, depends on how heavy you go about it. I mean, if you aerate, you're not like all the grass seed isn't going to go into the holes that get punched. I don't. If what I'd say is this: as far as burying the Bermuda grass seed in a heavy or thick layer of topsoil, I would not do that. Your plan as far as power raking topsoil, level, seed roll, yeah, that'll work. That'll work fine too. But if you did aerate, power rake, topsoil, level, seed roll it in, that would work as well too. You know what I mean? So if you are planning to level the lawn prior to putting the seed out, then the fact that you aerate doesn't really matter because all the holes are going to get filled with the topsoil or level mixture, whatever it is you happen to do. So it's not going to materially affect the ability of the grass seed to be able to germinate, right? Because you're doing that like last. So I would still aerate as part of any kind of a lawn leveling project if it were me, especially since you plan on again, you're putting out material and you're going to seed afterwards, then the aeration doesn't even matter as far as the grass seed getting buried. All right, next up is Scott Graves. There's options to blanket spray for weeds on St. Augustine that is safe under an oak tree drip line. Yeah, I don't know the answer to this one, Scott. As far as what I would blanket spray for weeds on St. Augustine, it depends on what the weed is you're trying to control. If it's broadleaf weeds, Celsius. If it's like sedges, Certainty would be a good option. Under an oak tree drip line, yeah, you're throwing a curve there. So that one, that I'm not sure. I mean, the big thing is if you're spraying, if you are spraying Celsius or Certainty the way they're designed to be sprayed, meaning with a fine droplet spray nozzle, and you're just lightly like you're painting the leaf of the weed you're targeting with the herbicide, you should not have a lot of runoff that should cause problems. If you're not doing it properly, you're using the wrong nozzle, or you're over applying it, then you could create problems that could cause some damage to the oak tree. So what I might say is the areas that are under the oak tree, if you got a few weeds here and there, maybe just spot spray just the weeds to limit that. So don't blanket spray, so you limit the amount of herbicide that's introduced in that area. And the spots that are away from the oak tree, go ahead and blanket spray those. So the areas you're concerned about, spot spray, just be more careful, and then blanket spray when you're away from the oak tree. That would be my recommendation if you're not really confident as far as your ability to spray the weeds, but not to the point of getting a lot of runoff. All right, Ant Win 88 says, is there a combination of post-emergent that will kill most instead of having a specific herbicide? Yes, I'm not sure I understand your question. You're saying, is there a combination of post-emergent herbicides that will kill most weeds instead of having a specific herbicide? Yes, I mean, so it depends what you're trying to achieve, Ant. If you're looking to kill or control a bunch of weeds in your lawn, and you don't care about your grass, glyphosate. That will control most weeds, but it's also going to damage your grass. If you are trying to control a particular weed and not damage your grass, it's almost like you have to align all the holes in the Swiss cheese. You have to line everything up, right? So the thing is what kind of grass do you have? Because that's going to limit what post-emergent herbicides are safe to use on that type of grass without damaging it, or by minimizing injury to it, rather. There's probably a better way of saying it. And so once you know what kind of grass you have, the next thing is that's going to narrow the list of herbicides down, and then based on the kind of weed that's growing in your lawn, so you want to identify the kind of grass, and as much as possible, identify the weed. Then that's going to narrow the list of herbicides that are safe to use on that type of grass, and that will also have effective control against the particular weed. So to answer your question, no, there's not any one herbicide that will rule them all. I mean, if you were looking for something that does a decent job controlling a broad range of weeds, something like a three-way will work pretty well on most grass types other than like St. Augustine, centipede, fine fescue. I mean, so even that you have to be careful with it. But for the best control, to get the best result, you are going to be matching the herbicide to the grass type and to the weed that you're trying to control, and also the time of year too, because there's some herbicides that they require a certain amount of temperature to perform better versus versus others. So to answer your question, no, there's not like one herbicide to rule them all that will control all weeds while not damaging your grass. That'd be really nice, but not really. So yeah. Hazel Apul is up next. It says, evening, Ron. Glad to see you on the live stream this evening. Does this mean you'll not be on tomorrow evening? That is correct. Tomorrow evening, I have a martial arts event. I will be proctoring folks that are testing to black belt. So I'm not sure. The test is going to be broken into two parts. I'm not sure. I'm either going to have the blue belts that are testing to black belts, or I'll have the chodons that are testing to like edon, or edons that are testing to somdon. So either people that already have their black belts that are testing to higher ranks, or folks that are at black belt candidate, meaning they have a blue belt and they're testing to black belt, because it's a big enough test that we have to split it probably into two different groups. So I'll be doing one of those. I'll be running one of those, putting them through their paces for a few hours so they can show off for their families in the panel and looking good and having fun, right? That's the idea. So tomorrow night I will not be here. So hence I'm here tonight. All right, next up is She says, I use MSM to kill ryegrass. Now I have dead ryegrass in my Bermuda. Looks like the dead roots might be preventing the Bermuda from growing in addition to the MSM. Give it time. It's still early in the season, Sheed. Give it time. The ryegrass sounded like the MSM did its job to knock that back, and then the Bermuda with the ryegrass gone will eventually green up. So just give it a time thing. That's one of the I'm saying that's one of the negatives. One of the negatives of overseeding a Bermuda lawn with ryegrass is the transition, right? Like when you're getting rid of it in the springtime, like this time of year, depending on the herbicide you use, depending on your timing of when you do it, you can slow down the green up, or you can negatively affect the green up of your Bermuda grass. The thing with ryegrass overseed is you have to get rid of it when it's looking its absolute best. So like late March is probably a better time to do it than like April, like now. But it looks really good in April. Like ryegrass, like that's part of I think why the Masters is held in April, right? Because it's that course's Bermuda grass has been overseed with rye, and ryegrass looks incredible in April. But when it's looking at its absolute best is when you want to get rid of it, because it's going to materially affect the ability for Bermuda to come out of dormancy and really establish. So just give it time. It sounds like you're maybe a little bit behind the curve as far as waiting a bit longer than you should have, but the Bermuda will grow through it. It will be okay. You're very welcome, Jocelyn. No problem at all. I mean, you just done such a great job with getting, Kentucky bluegrass to grow in the desert. I really don't want it to go away. I really don't want it to go away. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Daniel Standifer says, should I not fill in aerator holes with sand? I've been filling them in since I mostly have clay. Yeah, so if you are aerating aerating your lawn, what I do is whatever material you're using to top dress the lawn with, that will fill in the holes as you are dragging the sand or blend of sand and compost in. So yes, once you punch holes from core aeration, whatever material you use after the fact is going to fill the holes in. You don't have to go out there and manually go and fill each hole. Just when you put it out and you use a leveling rig to work it in, or you use like a drag behind a four-wheeler or something, that's going to move the material into all the holes and you'll be good to go. All right, Daniel. White Glove PC is up next. He says, Ron, I've gone back and forth on the aeration thing. I think I'm going to do it since my soil is pretty compacted. I would. It's one of the best cultural practices you can do for your lawn. It's a really good idea. If you have compacted soil, you absolutely should be aerating it. So yes, I would do it. It's a workout, but worst case, if you don't want to do it yourself, just pay someone. Hire a service to come out and come do it for you if you don't want to do it yourself. Because it is a workout. You will feel it the next day after you're on a core aerator. But it's worth it. It's good for your grass. It's worth it. Your lawn is worth it. All right. Dave is up next. He says, any suggestions on how to maintain ryegrass at 3/4 of an inch? I'm in Ontario, Canada, currently using a 14-inch Earthwise reel mower. So you're doing the right thing. You've got a reel mower. If it goes down to 3/4 of an inch, then just keep running your reel mower on it. If you can get your hands on a powered reel mower, it's going to produce a more consistent cut, and it's going to look better at 3/4 of an inch, Dave. So ryegrass can absolutely be cut at 3/4 of an inch. There's no, be cut a lot shorter than that. So it's just a matter of equipment. So the earthwise, you should be able to get close to that, between 3/4 of an inch and an inch with that without too much trouble. But if you're looking for 3/4 of an inch, like a really nice manicured, pristine cut, going to a powered reel mower is going to produce a better result. So just depends on your budget and what you're like, how serious you are, or what you want to get with it. That would be my recommendation. So hopefully that helps, sir. But what you've got should get you pretty close. Should get pretty close with what you're working with. You know what I mean? But if you like the result you're getting with your powered reel mower, if you go to with your push reel mower, if you go to a powered reel mower, it's a whole different ball game. It's pretty cool. Okay, nasty says, he says, not a serious question, Ron. I lost a tree or two per year with freezes or high winds the past 4 years. I lost another 2 days ago. For now, I'm maintaining vacant tree rings while I decide what to do. I vote for grass. That's what I do. I vote for grass, because anything you put there is going to make it more difficult for the grass. Put like a fire pit in, not as good for the grass. If you put grass there, it's good for the grass. So you should do grass. I think the trees going away is like, it's a sign saying you should put grass in those areas. Final answer. All right. And Wynn says, to clarify, I was thinking about using Celsius and Certainty instead of having a ton of herbicides. I have zoysia grass. Yeah. So so I guess if your question is, if I can have one combination to cover most weeds in a warm season lawn, Celsius and Certainty are what I'd recommend, because not only do they cover a huge range of broadleaf and sedges and poa annua, they also do so while minimizing injury to your grass. So that's the big thing, because most folks will say, well, I don't really mind. I'll pay a little bit less and get some dismiss or whatever, speed zone, and I'll just use that. And they can also produce a good result cleaning up the weeds, but you're also going to get discoloration. And case in point, we just had, what was his name? We just had, Sheed in here who just got rid of the ryegrass in his Bermuda grass overseed, and he's getting some yellowing and doesn't like it, right? So even though most people think that, I'm fine with a little bit of temporary discoloration, they're really not. And Celsius and Certainty are, again, as long as they're applied at the correct rates and you are judicious with your use of surfactant along with them, are highly unlikely to cause any major discoloration to your lawn, which is why we recommend them so much for warm season lawns. It's like the great combination for that purpose. They're more expensive, but they, when you're good, you can charge for it, right? I mean, that's what they are. They're really good at what they are, what they're designed for. They don't, there's no real temperature restrictions when it comes to them. And for cleaning up broadleafs, Celsius is, in my opinion, unmatched. And then for sedge control in warm season turf grass, Certainty is unmatched, especially for what you're paying for it. So the only thing you could potentially add to that, and is if you had a mass outbreak of crabgrass, which with zoysia, you really shouldn't have that. But if you did have like a bunch of crabgrass you're trying to clean up, then maybe having a bottle of quinclorac laying around would not be a bad idea too. But really, Celsius and Certainty are really all you need for crabgrass control. Celsius will do crabgrass. It'll just take a couple of rounds to knock it back. For example, before actually in the St. Augustine lawn, because you can't use quinclorac, Celsius is what you would use to try and control crabgrass, right? It's pretty good for that purpose. So yeah, if you're only looking for one combination to like that's gonna check most of the boxes on a warm season lawn, that combination is what I would go with for that reason. So hope that helps, Ant. Keep us posted as far as which decision you make. Again, you're going to pay a bit more for them, but they cost more for a reason. Okay, next up is White Glove PC. Says, last question, Ron. I doubt it, but I'll humor you. He says, best option to normalize my soil pH of 7.3. Soil test results came back in today, and I ordered some fast-acting sulfur and plan on applying it at a slightly reduced rate. So you've already kind of got the answer that I would have given you, White Glove PC. So you've got high soil pH. You're going to use a sulfur. That's what I would do. That's it. I mean, most sulfurs that are designed for lowering soil pH will have you apply them at like 5 pounds per 1,000. I would just do that. I would apply it at the rate that the label calls for. And then over time, that will help lower your soil pH. So yeah, what you're doing is exactly what I would recommend. Good job. Good stuff. Keep us posted as far as how it does. I mean, I'd say for between measuring, you're doing between like a soil test, give it at least 3 months, maybe 4 months between pulling cores again and seeing what's how the soil pH has changed. I wouldn't be too quick to go do that. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Bobby Gilbert. He says, Ron, I was wondering, what should I do with 3 feet by 2 foot area? Okay, so this is 6 square feet that I cannot get any to grow any grass. I've added soil, tilled, placed sod, but still no grass. What would you advise to try? So Bob, if you can, I mean, I won't see it here on the live stream tonight, but if you can, email me a picture of the area you're talking about. I'd like to see why this one little section is not growing grass there. My email address is ron@golfcourselawn.com. So send me an email and I'll take a look at it. So things that come to mind, why grass isn't growing in that area: shade, if there's some trash underneath the soil. So I'm not sure if you've done the screwdriver test, get like a flathead or a Phillips screwdriver and try and push it into the soil in that area. You might run into a piece of a plywood or a big stone, or perhaps, heaven forbid, like a concrete washout was done there or whatever. There might be something underneath the surface that's preventing the grass from growing well in that area. Because if you have good soil, good nutrient program, you're getting plenty of direct sunlight, you're getting adequate water, there's no reason why grass won't grow there. The only thing I can really come to mind is that there's something just below the surface that's potentially causing a problem with the roots being able to get enough nutrients for grass to stay around, to live. So that's the next thing I would try. But if you want to send me a picture of it, I'll take a look and let you know what I would think, what I would do. He says, during your leveling project with your friend, how did you spread the mix, wheelbarrow or shovel? Both. So we would take a wheelbarrow, and for the flatter parts of the lawn, we would just dump it out, and I would just take a shovel and just throw it. And then for the more sloped areas, he would like dump small little piles, and I would just use the leveling rake to kind of just move them and work them in. So I was primarily running the leveling rake. He was mainly running the wheelbarrow. So yeah, it's a combination. So the wheelbarrow to get the material there, and only in the flat parts would we'd all get dumped out in one area, and then I would move it around with the shovel. But yeah, wheelbarrow and shovel. You have to get. It doesn't really matter as long as you like evenly distribute the material. You're going to be good to go. It doesn't really matter if you dump it in one pile and then shovel it out or move it with the leveling rake. It doesn't really make a difference. Either way will work. You said, I'm thinking about using a motorized spreader for my 10,000 square foot backyard. Yeah, if you can use like what's the name of that company that makes them? It's I think it's Eco. They're like blue. If you can get one of those, that would be great. Now, what makes those really nice is if you have a way to load it as well too. So if you're shoveling into like the Eco lawn, that's okay, but it's better if you have like a dingo, like one of those small little mini little tractors from Toro, like one of those to help quickly load that. Then that makes it, now you're really going to be humming along quickly. But if someone is like shoveling and filling it and then you're taking it out there, it's better than nothing. But it's better if you have a way to use to speed up loading it, and you can really fly as far as getting it done. All right. Next up we have a thing here from Harper's Industries. I bogged you down with my lawn of death. I'm just at a loss at this point. It looks great driving by. It was mowed, soaked when I had a service do it, literally pools of water, and he mowed it. Yeah, so I saw some of the pictures Harper's in there, so I'm not sure. I know like months ago I recommended fungicide. I'm not sure if you ever did that. But as far as if the lawn is retaining a lot of moisture or retaining a lot of water, you have to fix that. Like drainage is important. Like water is important to a lawn, but too much water is just as bad as not enough. In some cases, it's worse than not enough water. So if your lawn is holding on to a ton of moisture, either like a French drain or catch basin, some way to help manage drainage or manage the amount of water is what's something you're gonna have to invest in. One thing what you can do is if you can aerate the lawn, and then top dress it with a blend of sand and compost. So definitely has to have some sand in it. Adding some sand to the upper part of the soil profile is going to do a lot for improving how well the lawn drains, which will likely fix a lot of the soggy problems and probably also some of your disease problems in the lawn as well too. So I would fix that. Like you can throw fungicide at it, you can do other things, but really until you correct the like the core problem with the environment, well, like the way that the environment is set up that's causing the problem to be an issue, you're just going to be chasing your tail. It's never going to really get better. So that would be my recommendation based on what I saw in the pictures. All right, Logan Pack said, I just got my first powered reel mower last week. Congratulations. I've cut a few times, but the thing that has got me has been the biggest learning curve is learning how to keep that thing from taking me for a ride. LOL. Slow it down. Like just don't go as don't run it as quickly. I'm not sure which mower you have, but I mean you should be able to run it at a speed that is, you know, comfortable for you to walk at. Like in other words, you shouldn't feel like you're chasing after the mower whenever you're cutting with it. So just like everything, as you do use it more and more, you get more experience with it and you'll get more comfortable. It's a new thing for you. All right, Buddy Brown says soil has a pH of 4.9, low on phosphorus and potassium, okay on magnesium. How much limestone to add? How long does it take to get to 6.5? Thank you for the live. Trying to send you soil results. What's the email? My email is ron@golfcourselawn.com. Yeah, as far as how long it takes, it depends. For a pH of 4.9, that's quite low. It's quite acidic. I would have you applying somewhere between 30 to 40 pounds per thousand of calcitic lime, because you're saying your magnesium's okay. So 30 to 40 pounds per thousand of calcitic lime, and just test again in 3 to 4 months, and you can see where it's moving, right? And that's gonna help with everything. It's gonna help with your nutrient uptake across the board if you can get your pH into the mid sixes. But you're gonna definitely go heavier than what's often used for like a maintenance rate. So 30 to 40 pounds per thousand, Buddy Brown, is what I would recommend for you. You're very welcome, Ant. Philip Martis says, how long do I need to wait to aerate top level top dress new zoysia sod? It was late a few weeks ago, and my first mow was quite bumpy due to the small gaps between the sod. Thanks. I would wait until it's hard to say without pictures. Like on my lawn, the plan is to level / top dress it next month. So later next month is when I'm planning to do that. I put a little bit of sand out in a few areas just to be able to see, like lightly, just to see how the zoysia grows through it. And it's actually doing fairly well. It's already growing through in a couple of areas that I lightly put some sand down. So I'm encouraged for next month. So what I would tell you is whenever it has rooted in, so if you go on and try and pick at any part of the corners of the sod, if none of it's coming up, meaning it's all tacked down fairly well, if you're regularly mowing it and you are seeing new growth, if you want to go out and lightly top dress, you can. But again, I cannot stress enough, like you are going to want to go light. Like zoysia grows a lot slower than Bermuda grass does. And so you just got to respect it. Like it's a relatively new lawn. If you're going to go out and top dress it, say the end of May, you're really going to want to sit closer to that 1/4 inch of material, more so than like 1/2 inch or even more. Like some people will go out and they'll top dress a relatively new Bermuda lawn, and they'll cover it in sand where you can't really even see the lawn at all. And while I don't agree with it, with Bermuda, you can do that, and more likely you're going to get away with it. With zoysia, not so much. You can end up wasting a lot of money, damaging, killing parts of the lawn you just spent a bunch of money getting for sod put in. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do it, go light. You said you had it done a few weeks ago, so you're close to when mine was done. Mine was put in April 2nd or 3rd. So I think April 2nd or 3rd is when mine went in. So if that's you, if you were applied on the same day as mine, I would look towards later into the month of May, depending on how the sod is. Like you can see how my lawn is looking at this point. You can obviously still see the lines here and there, obviously all throughout it. But by this time next month, it should be in a really good spot where I'm not going to have any reservations about putting a light coat of sand on that to really get it to golf course lawn quality, right? So every lawn is a little bit different, depending on how much sunlight, nutrient, how your sod is rooting in. Like all those factors will determine how soon you can get out there and top dress it. Regardless of when you decide to do it the first time, I would beg you to go light. All right, Philip. So hope that helps. It's kind of a non-answer answer, but hopefully gives you some guidance, some things to think about to help you get a good result without damaging your new sod that you just spent a whole bunch of money getting put in. All right. All right, we got Greg Lyon up next. He says, I sent a picture of my backyard where a section of grass is getting larger with dormant dead grass. What can I do to remedy the situation? Thank you. Let's take a look here, Greg, at what you're working with. That's not good. So that is weird. I don't know what's causing that, Greg. So you're saying that it was green and it's turning dormant, or this is an area of the lawn that is just taking longer to come out of dormancy? Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're dealing with here, but because it almost looks like it's just taking its sweet time to green up. If you look at the rest of the lawn is not 100% green either. Like in the background there, near the shrubs, and even out towards the middle, there's an area that's not really 100% green yet. So you may just give it time. Now we are getting into the time of the month where we're getting to the end of April, early May, to where I'm a fan of putting a preventative fungicide out. So if you want to do that, you can. But that doesn't look like, looking at the pictures again, it doesn't look like a disease issue to me, Greg. It might be, but at any rate, an application of Headway G or Pillar SC would be good, especially since, again, we're getting into May anyway. And I recommend like a preventative fungicide app in May and in June, especially if you're maintaining your lawn at shorter cutting heights, which you appear to be doing. Okay, so sorry you're dealing with that. It could be, just give it some time, but again, preventive fungicide app would not be bad. It'd be cheap, relatively cheap insurance versus letting something get out of hand and really makes a mess of your lawn that'll take months to recover from. All right. Vahid Navi is up next. He says, hi, dear Ron. Hope you are doing well. I can't complain. My question about liquid fertilizer or other liquids: should I cut the lawn after? Can I apply or wait a day later to apply? Yeah, so when I typically do my fertilizer apps is if I mowed, I mowed, like say today, if I mowed today, I would then apply my liquid fertilizer apps and growth regulator the following day. So typically the day in between mows is when I do it. Now, I have mowed and then an hour later gone out and sprayed my liquid fertilizers and growth regulator. I have done that as well too and get good results with it. But normally it's on the off day when I'm not mowing is when I will go out and spray liquids. And then after you spray them, you would want to wait a day before you resume mowing again too. So hopefully that helps. Again, I've done both, but typically it's on the off day when I'm not cutting the grass is when I will typically go out and spray liquids. So good question, Vahid. Hopefully that is helpful for you. And then John Johnson says, is Ron's day job in agriculture? How does he know so much around this stuff? Well, no. I mean, my day job now is YouTube and running the golf course lawn store and answering questions. And I've been doing the live stream. In August now will be 5 years of doing this. And I've been working on my lawn and doing just trying to grow a better and better lawn since 2017. So I mean, I used to go back and look up some of my content, 2017, 2018, so a while. So I've been doing it for a while, and I've got some friends in industry, and between all this, I went out and got like a certificate in turfgrass management from the University of Georgia. So I mean, I've got some formal training in addition to just I get a ton of questions about lawns of all types every single day. And if you answer a lot of them and do research to answer a lot of them, you tend to get your head full of knowledge about this stuff. And I mean, again, I've been doing the live stream now almost 5 years, so that's a lot of it. And there's a ton of it that I don't know. There's far more that I don't know than I do know. Like I know quite a bit about Bermuda grass and growing a great stand of like shortcut grass. Like I know Bermuda fairly well. I'm going to learn Zoysia fairly well. I know how to get most lawns looking pretty good. But there's probably 1,000 times more that I don't know about grass, horticulture, than I do. I mean, there's so much to it, and I'm always learning every day. So, but just answering a lot of questions and just continually trying to get better is how I've learned what I've learned, John. All right, Logan Pack says it's an old California trimmer with no throttle control. That doesn't sound very safe, Logan. Yeah, you might get that fixed. I'd say get that fixed. That's not like, in other words, your experience with real mowing is not how it should be if you're dealing with a California trimmer or any mower that has no throttle control. So I guess when you start it up, it's just running flat out. Like that's a safety thing. I would not operate that. I would get it fixed. I would absolutely get it fixed. Greg Lyons says, can we please get a tour of your side yard, which we never see? I know you said that there wasn't an issue where your Bermuda and Zoysia are meeting, but curious what it looks like. Thanks. Yeah, I can do a short. I can show you that, you guys that. Maybe Sunday, because I'm busy tomorrow and Saturday. But maybe I can do like a little short and show you that. But there's only like literally about 15 feet where the Zoysia and the Bermuda touch each other. The rest, like the right side of the lawn that you don't ever see there, because there's no grass or there's no lawn there. There's literally like probably I don't know, maybe 2 feet, 18 inches of like a little dirt path that goes from the back lawn to the front lawn. But there's literally no grass on. If you're looking at like my lawn from the street, on the right side of the house, there is no grass in between the house, like that one little section between that you never see because there's nothing there to show. There's like the air conditioning units and that kind of stuff. So that's why you don't ever see anything there, because there's nothing interesting really to see. But I can show you where the Bermuda and the Zoysia meet. Again, there's not a whole lot to see there either, but I'll show you if you want to see it. Okay, he says, I know instead of it's not my prior post. Sorry, autocorrect again. No problem. No worries. Yep. Well, I'll work on that for you, Greg. If you really want to see it, we'll give it a shot. And Win says, what will your fertilizer regimen do for your Zoysia grass? You're asking me, what fertilizer regimen will you do for your Zoysia grass? The same thing I do for my Bermuda. That's what I'm going to start out with. And I may make adjustments as we get into it. But right now, my Bermuda is seeing 0.7 of a pound of nitrogen. And it seems to like that pretty well. The Zoysia, I'm planning to do the same thing. The only thing that's different about what the Zoysia is getting this time of year compared to the Bermuda is Bermuda's already getting plant growth regulator. It's getting these two. So I'm using a new EZ and Primo Max, the combination of both these plant growth regulators on my Bermuda. And I am not doing that on the Zoysia grass because it's still trying to find its way in the world. There's no reason to really slow down the growth of it at this point. So what will happen is the Zoysia is going to get Humic Max 1608 at 3 pounds per thousand. It will get the Release Zero Carbon Kit along with the 22-3 fertilizer. And this, again, the same thing that the Bermuda grass gets. Pretty much what will happen is I will do a backpack sprayer first that I will spray the front lawn and the front, like the vanity strip in training. And then whatever's left of that backpack, I will likely go spray on Alex's lawn, or there's another neighbor whose lawn we help out as well. I'll go spray that, and then I'll mix up another tank full that will have the same concoction. Only difference is it will have growth regulator in it, and spray the rest of the lawn with it. So pretty much the same thing, just with no PGR. All right, Cooper says, Ron, do you spoon feed liquid fertilizer the same time as you put down granular at the beginning of the month, then liquid every 2 weeks? Yes. So if we get that on step, we can go to May 1st, right? And tomorrow is May 1st. Let's just say that happens to be the case. Tomorrow morning, I would go out, I'd put out carbonized PNG, and I would put out Humic Max 1608 at 3 pounds per thousand. When I'm done with that, I would then go get my backpack sprayer out and add, I'd put 3 gallons of water in it, add 24 ounces of the 22-3, and then 12 ounces of Release Zero, 12 ounces of NutriKelp, and 12 ounces of the micronutrient. And also the equivalent of like one little level spoon of BioSpectrum. Then get that mixed up, and then finish filling the tank all the way up to 4 gallons. So I've got like 4 gallons of this solution, along with some plant growth regulator in there that is set for the lawn. It'll get sprayed on the same day, like literally an hour, not even an hour, after I've put down my granular products. And then every 2 weeks, the liquids get sprayed every 2 weeks. So from now all the way through September, every 2 weeks, the lawn will get liquid fertilizer and plant growth regulator. And just once per month, the beginning of the month, typically is when I do it. Beginning of the month is whenever the granular products go out. Now, it might be a couple of days earlier or a day or two later in the beginning of the month, if depending on when rain's going to come. Like for example, we're going to get rain like today, a bunch of rain today and tomorrow. So I already put out my granular, my carbonized PNG already for this for May already. But the liquids every 2 weeks is when I spray them, every 2 weeks. So if you were starting this out, Cooper, and you're starting at May 1st, that is what you would do. You put your granular out on May 1st, you spray your liquids on May 1st, and then liquids every 2 weeks, and then your next granular would be June 1st. All right. So really not that complicated. Just granular products once per month, liquids every 2 weeks. That's the sequence. All right. Next up is No Name. Because I almost missed this live. The Zoya seems to really be coming along. Thanks for the frequent updates. You got it, man. I mean, that's part of it. Whenever I was talking to the nice folks at Super Sod, when I was going to get the sod from them, one of the things they wanted, they said, well, why don't we just wait until like later on into April, like now, or even to early May to go and put the sod down. It'll be nice and green then. It'll look nicer, better for video. And I'm like, but that'd be cool. But people don't really want to see that. The folks want to see struggle. They want to see like a lawn that is started from humble roots and see it turn into something really, really awesome. So I opted to get the sod put in a bit earlier than perhaps most people would want to sod a Zoya lawn around here. Mainly for the reason that it makes for great content and you guys can see how it changes, right? Because I'd rather have it in early, get it rooted, get it on its way. And think about it, if you put a Zoya lawn in and it's like all nice and lush and green, and you don't get to go through seeing it go from not necessarily a patchy mess, but like a lawn that was largely dormant to fully greened up, then to top dressing. It's kind of boring, right? So I think this way is better. So hence why I chose to do it earlier in the season, in early April versus like May timeframe. All right, next up is Greg Lyons. Says, for the picture, it was turning green last year, but has it turned green this year? Oh, so you're just behind then. Okay, so then, yeah, so what I said still stands, Greg. It just looks like you're just a little bit behind the curve, man. So last year, maybe you had warmer temperatures. We had a stretch of consistently warmer weather that caused it to green up sooner, but just give it time. To me, that's what my first thought was. It's just kind of lagging behind. Like there's other parts of the lawn too that are also not fully greened up as well, just from looking at that picture. So I would give it time. I mean, next month is still fungicide, like preventative fungicide month, but so you can still do that. But I don't really think it's a disease problem. I think it's just taking its sweet time to green up to me. That's what it looks like to me from what I'm seeing there, Greg. Next up, Logan is saying, the only thing I could think of is the area gets more shade. Possibly, quite possibly. I mean, it doesn't look like it's in a defined shape. Well, you know what? Now that you say that, Logan, like the right side of it is a fairly clean line. So I'm not sure if there's something that we can't see in that's like where Greg, the angle that he's taking this picture from, if there's some kind of structure or tree or something there that is creating a shadow there, quite possibly. That's a good call. Quite possibly a shade issue. With Bermuda, that's normally it. Okay, next up is Trav Money. He says, hey, Ron, big fan of the show. So far, I've done Dimension, Celsius Certainty, Carbonized PNG, and the 14714. I have a lot of dead material. Think verticutting with a Sunjoe is a good route. Yeah. If you get a lot of dead material on the lawn, you want to give it a fresh start to the season, you haven't scalped it, I'm absolutely a big fan of that. Like scalping is one of the best things you can do for a Bermuda or Zoya lawn to start the season out. Just really helps green up and just resets the lawn for the upcoming year. So answer your question, yes, I would. Andy O says, how long does it usually take to visibly see germination, baby hairs after seeding? It's been like a week now and I still don't see anything and I feel like I did something wrong. Depends on the type of grass you have, Andy. So grasses like fescue or ryegrass tend to germinate relatively quickly. A grass like Kentucky bluegrass, much slower to germinate. Bermuda grass, also slow to germinate. Zoysia, really slow to germinate. So the grass is a factor. Also the conditions. So if the soil temperatures are not necessarily where they need to be, so if they're not, it's a little bit cooler than it needs to be, it's going to take longer for you to see germination. If you're not getting as much sunlight, enough water, those will also affect germination rates. So it's a bunch of different factors. So the grass type is thing one, and then the conditions. So temperature, moisture, amount of nutrient, those will all also weigh into germination rates. But the biggest factor is really the kind of grass that you have and the time of year that you're looking to do it. So just give it time. A week is really not that long. For Bermuda grass, I'd say don't even bother looking at it like 2 weeks. 2 weeks is when you should start seeing some germination come through. So at a week, you probably didn't do anything incorrectly. You're just being a bit impatient. Just give it time. The biggest thing I'd say, Andy, the reason why most seeding projects fail is due to inadequate water. Because what happens is most folks will start out their seeding project. They're all excited. They will seed the lawn, they'll water it, and a day or two goes by and they'll start weaning the lawn off of water. You really cannot allow it to dry out. You can't allow the soil to dry out for 2 to 3 weeks. Really, until you get germination, you just cannot allow it to dry out. If you take a look at some pictures from Andrew Flores's lawn, that is not Andrew's lawn. Let me see if I can find it for you. Some pictures that he sent here. Yeah, this is a good example. So this is a lawn that was established from seed. And if you look at it, even now, if you look at the lawn, you can see that the soil looks moist. It doesn't look dry, right? If you look at that lawn looks like, look at near the sidewalk, it doesn't look dried out at all. So even now you can tell he's still watering it, and that's what you're going to need to do for several weeks to be able to get a good result. You know what I mean? So give it time. Just be patient. It will come through. All right, we got another Cash App. This one's from Mr. Emmanuel Jacobs. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. $15. I really do appreciate that, man. So let me get you up here. Put some respect on your name. You'll be our show sponsor now for the remaining time that we have left. And any questions that you sent to me via email, I'll get them taken care of after the show. I'll answer your emails. All right. Just hard to do. So there you go, sir. Your name in lights, whatever it means to you. You're internet famous in the world of lawn care, for whatever that matters, right? All right, Uncle Earl, Heating and Air Conditioning says, "Hey Ron, Earl here from Minnesota. I am behind on applying my pre-emergent. Average temperature is 60 degrees. Dandelions and Creeping Charlie appearing. Is it too late to put out granular pre-emergent, or should I spray or both?" I would still apply your pre-emergent. You're a little bit late, but I would still put it out. And to control the weeds you're seeing now, you're going to be using some kind of post-emergent herbicide. So like a 3-way or Tenacity would be a good choice to clean up like those weeds you're talking about. But yeah, you're late on your pre-emergent, so now you must suffer. It must happen. You must be made to suffer for not getting your pre-emergent out early. But I would still do it. It's still early enough in the season that you'll get some benefits from it. But you'll have to use a post-emergent herbicide to get rid of the ones that you see in the lawn now. Yeah, Andrew, I'm sorry, so I agree with Ron. Please get it fixed. That can be dangerous. Emmanuel Jacob says, "Good luck on your black belt testing tomorrow, sir. We'll be rooting for you." Well, yeah, I'm not testing. I am proctoring. So I'll be helping running a portion of the test. I'm not actually testing. I don't test until my second part of testing for 4th degree is going to be in June. So not yet. I've got like another month and change before I have to worry about my test, which will be interesting. I went through with the first half of it last year, which was kind of fun, and this year I kind of know what to expect. So I'm sure they'll throw some curveballs at us, but it should be a fun time. But yeah, tomorrow night, it's actually more, believe it or not, it's actually more stressful to be a proctor than it is to actually be on the floor doing what they tell you to do. Given the choice, I'd rather be out on the floor doing jumping jacks and push-ups and doing my forms and all this kind of stuff and getting yelled at for not giving enough effort. Like that would be far less stressful than, in my opinion, proctoring, because you have to you have to make sure that you're pushing them enough to produce, to show, to show a good test, make them, so they're earning the rank the right way. But at the same time, there's so much also to remember too. You want to make sure you're covering all the material and staying on time, because in our tests, there's like 12 or 13 segments. You have warm-ups, hand line drills, kick line drills, paddle targets, open hand forms, weapons forms, hand one steps, kick one steps, self-defense, rolls and falls, sparring, breaking. So there's like all these different like sub segments of the test that have to be done, and you don't want to forget anything, and you have to be conscious of time because we don't have the facility forever. So it's more stressful to be a proctor than it is actually to be out there testing, in my opinion. All right, next up is the Tip Top Off Classic. He says, good day, Ron. Can I mix a Celiprin and Pillar SC with my liquid fert in my spoon feeding program? Great question, the Tip Off Classic. I would do a Celiprin and Pillar SC, no problem at all with that. I would not mix liquid fertilizer along with it in your spoon feeding. Here's why. If you're doing spoon feeding with like the fertilizers that we carry on the golf course lawn store, they are designed for foliar uptake, meaning you're supposed to spray them, not water them in, allow them to dry on the leaf of the grass, which means you're going to be using a fine droplet spray nozzle like this, which is great for liquid fertilizer, growth regulator, but is not great for a Celiprin or Pillar SC. Like those products, you're going to apply them and you want them to get in the soil. So you tend to use a larger droplet spray nozzle like this one, Exhibit Floodjet Tip. So a Celiprin and Pillar SC, sure. You want to mix those and spray them at the same time and then water them in. I love it. But I would do your liquid fertilizer application separately with the correct spray nozzle. Like, again, a fine droplet one. So hope that helps, sir. And if you're wondering which spray nozzle to use, I will link them here in the chat for you in a second so you'll have them. But yeah, I would not do those together if it were me, if you're looking to get the absolute best result. Can you do it? I guess, but it's not optimal, right? There's a reason why they make like large droplet spray nozzles and fine droplet spray nozzles, because there's definitely a benefit to using the correct one for the correct application. So here are some links to them. There's the foliar, the foliar spray nozzle and the Floodjet tip, and there's one that's in between, which is the air induction tip. All right. Next up is John Johnson. He says, I have Celebration Bermuda in South Texas, and I plan on treating the lawn every 4 weeks with Anderson's 16-4-8 granular, followed by a liquid 18-18 with chelated iron. Is this okay or too much? Like most things in life, it's not necessarily what you take, it's the dose. It's the application rate. So I don't know what rate you're going to be applying those at. It could be just fine. I mean, I'd say if you're doing the 16-4-8 at like 3 pounds per thousand, and you're doing the liquid at 6 ounces or so per thousand, you have to look at the label and see what they recommend. So to where you're putting out a tenth of a pound of nitrogen or so, thereabouts per application with the liquid, should be okay. But yeah, I'm the Anderson's product I am familiar with. The 18-18, I don't know what product that is that you're using. So I look at that, and one, make sure the liquid product that you're using is designed for foliar uptake, right? Like, 'cause some of the liquids are designed to be watered in, which you would not want to use for spoon feeding. You want something that is designed to be absorbed through the leaf for best results, in my opinion. So all comes down to the application rate, man. That at a high level should be okay. Just make sure the application rates are correct so you're getting the amount of nitrogen that you're after applied over the course of the month. All right. Next up we have Greg Lyon. He says, my neighbors moved in and their moving truck went into my yard. Is it too deep, 6 inches to top dress? What should I do to fill that in? Thanks for your help. Yeah, 6 inches is too much to top dress. I would get some soil, like some topsoil, and fill the area, tamp it down, like really like get it rolled in, packed down, because if you don't do that, it's going to settle and you're going to end up with like a bit of a rut anyway, and then top dress on top of that. So yeah, I would use whatever soil is native to what's in your lawn. I would use that to fill in that rut, and then a nice light top dressing afterwards, and you are good to go. All right, next up is C Hill. He says, greetings and salutations, Ron and lawn peeps. Does it matter if my soil is dried out like sand when pulling plugs for soil tests? Hashtag happy Thursday. No, it shouldn't matter too much. I mean, just as long as you're getting a good plug, that should be fine. Whether it's dry or super wet, that shouldn't make a huge difference. Just as long as you're getting a good plug, is what I tell you, C Hill. What's going on, Otis? And then Derek Dwong says, I'm thinking about giving lawn a spoon feeding. Can I mix a solution ahead of time and store it in a 5-gallon jug? That way I can use it throughout the month without having to make it again. I would not. Like, if you're using the products that we carry, no. You want to mix it and spray it once you're done mixing it. For example, BioSpectrum is designed to be mixed and used when you mix it. It's not designed to just sit in the tank for an extended period of time. So I wouldn't. I would mix what you intend to use and spray it. Also for safety reasons too, right? Like if you leave a sprayer full of whatever you happen to have in there laying around, an animal could get into it, kids could get into it. So I would, in my opinion, I would mix what you intend to use and use it. I would not leave it laying around for a long period of time. Next up is Uncle Earl. He says, me again, Ron, should I wait to lightly dethatch and aerate until I apply the pre-emergent, or should I dethatch and aerate and then apply a pre-emergent? Well, I would get your pre-emergent out sooner than later. If you're going to do a light dethatching, again, you probably really don't need that, but if you want to do a light dethatching and aerate, you could do that and then do your pre-emergent right afterwards. But what I would not do is wait like another 2, 3, 4 weeks to apply your pre-emergent because you're waiting to dethatch and aerate. So if it all lines up to where this weekend you're going to aerate, dethatch your lawn, and say, hey, I got pre-emergent to put that out too, that would be fine. But I would not wait too much longer because you're already behind the curve as far as like the ideal time to get your pre-emergent out to get the most out of it. So I would not wait too much longer if it were me. Alfred Envy says, it's finally Thursday. Glad to hear your voice. We need turf talk. Well, I'm not going to be here too much longer, man. I've already been here 2.5 hours, so we're starting to wind down, man. We're almost, I'm about to play the outro music, Alfred Envy, but you caught me. You caught me before that happened, right? Michael Raymond says, now you've increased your zoysia from 1 square foot to a bunch. What are you replacing your tabletop pot with? Fescue? I thought about that. We're starting to carry some grass seed now, both fescue and a ryegrass Kentucky bluegrass blend. I thought about growing some fescue in there, and that's probably not a bad idea because the zoysia in it I think is dead. I think it's not coming back. So probably a good time for a renovation of the planter. And fescue would be nice. I haven't done fescue. Let me see. I had zoysia, Bermuda, and ryegrass when I had the 3 of them, but I haven't done fescue yet. So that could be a plan. That could play, Michael. All right. Next up is Wavy Joe Good says, Ron, what's up, man? Just getting into this lawn care thing. Excited for summer. It's a lot of fun. Now's a great time to get into it. And then next up, we got Maxwell Perry. He says, when it comes to leveling for the spots that are really deep, would you use topsoil instead of sand? I just bought a house and plan on real mowing, but need to fill in some major gaps. Yeah, so like I was telling the other viewer, if you have like a depression that's like a few inches, 6 inches or so, then yeah, use topsoil that's native to that area to fill in like any major ruts, and then you can top dress on top of that. If you decide to go the top dressing route, you can always do a few rounds of top dressing, but if you got, a depression that's like 6 inches or something that was caused by a piece of equipment driving over the lawn or something like that, that could take over a year to fix. So it's better just to fill in that area with soil, with actual topsoil that's like along the lines of what you already have in your lawn. That is what I would do. All right. Let's see here. Buglo says, Ron, a lot about pH being my last question. I calculated the value of my calcium. It's high category, but my phosphorus, potassium, and CEC are low. Any tips? I ordered some humic to help with absorption. Yeah, so if you're low on potassium and phosphorus, apply a fertilizer with potassium and phosphorus in it to improve your the cation exchange capacity. If you're trying to improve the amount of organic material in the soil, use like a granular biostimulant like carbonized PNG. You can also top dress the lawn with just a light compost as well too. Like anything you can do to introduce organic material will help improve cation exchange. And then everything else you're doing looks pretty good. So yeah, a fertilizer with P and K, and then granular biostimulant. So if you're looking for an option to help improve the amount of organic material in your lawn, what I would tell you to do is to go to the Golf Course Lawn Store, go to lawn fertilizer, and go with carbonized PNG, mainly because this is easy to apply. You can put it out with your broadcast spreader. You can see it's like a nice prill that looks like that. So you can use your broadcast spreader to apply it versus something like carbonized PN, which is also a great product, but it needs to be either worked in with like a leveling rake or some kind of a rake. You can see here when I did my front lawn many moons ago, I was using a leveling rake to work it in. So you need something like that for carbonized PN, whereas carbonized PNG, you could just use the same spreader that you use for fertilizer. So for most people, that's a bit more convenient. And I'll send you this link to where you can take a look at those, read through them to your heart's content, White Glove PC. Hope that helps. All right, next up is Luke B. He says, Ron, on Friday's call, we came up with a plan, apply a knockout treatment, certainty Celsius, etc. on Sunday. On Monday, I saw about 20% weeds kill, but it rained on Tuesday. Should I reapply? Nope, do not need to reapply. First of all, like if you applied Celsius and certainty, you should not see results only, you should not be seeing results like 2 days later. That's way too fast. Like you did something else then, because those herbicides are slower working. Really, it's like 7 to 10 days when you'll begin to see yellowing. But long short of it is my answer doesn't change. I would not reapply them even though you got rain afterwards, because if you used surfactant, if you apply them the way that I recommend, and you use this, then there's really no, like the little bit of rainfall you may have gotten or even heavy rainfall you've gotten should not materially affect the results you get from those herbicides. As long as you allowed it to dry before you got rain, you should be good to go. John Smith is up next. Says, good evening, Ron. Since it's been raining, I'm having black, green, mold, algae in my shaded areas along the fence. I'm planning on using moss out. Will this product work? It will work, John, but the problem will just keep coming back. Reason being is, if you have an area that has a lot of shade and doesn't drain as well and holds on, meaning it holds on a lot of moisture, like those are great conditions for moss, algae to become a problem. So if you really want to fix it, you're going to correct it. You're going to do something to either improve the drainage or do something to reduce the shade. A lot of times, at moss likes soil that's more acidic, so you might do a soil test and see if you need a lime application in that area. But to answer your question, does moss out work? Yes, but it's going to be a band-aid fix if the conditions that are causing the moss, algae, mold to become an issue in the first place aren't corrected. So just you have to keep that in mind as far as just what your expectations are. It's not like you can be able to apply that and it's never going to come back unless you fix the issue. All right, I think we're good there. Our last question of the evening, I think this is going to be from Mr. Wavy Joe Good. He says, I spot sprayed Celsius and certainty today, but I have a bit left over. Can I save it to use for a later date, or should I discard and make a new batch? If you want to hang on to it, you can, man. I mean, I am not a fan of leaving herbicides in sprayers just laying around. It's just a recipe for bad things to happen. Yeah, I mean, I know folks that have done that, then that do that. Like they'll have particularly that combination of Celsius and certainty, and they'll leave it around for a couple of weeks. So if they need to go and spot spray later on, they've already got it mixed up. Again, not what I do. And if you want to do that, I guess you could. Because discarding it, you really, unless you're going to take it to like a facility that's designed to handle those chemicals, or you've got like some other parts of your lawn where you got weeds that you can spray it. You can't you can't pour it down drains or anything like that. Yes, there's a way you have to get rid of products like that. You can't just throw it out. But what I would encourage you is that going forward, like mix what you're going to use and use all of it. Don't like leave it just sitting around. Next up is our last question of the evening is going to be, he says, what's the best way to get rid of moles/grubs? Okay, so moles oftentimes will eat grubs. Like that's one of their food sources. Not the only thing they eat, but it's one of the things they eat. So if you can reduce the amount of grubs in your lawn, that will also make your lawn less appealing for moles. Also, if you cannot overwater your lawn, because when the lawn is nice and soggy and wet, it's more attractive for moles. It's easier for them to burrow through it. The way you can correct the grub issue, which in addition to moles, being attracted to moles can also damage your lawn, is to use an insecticide. Like what I recommend for grub control, along with like armyworms or really any kind of turf caterpillar, is a product called a celiprin. It's available as a liquid and as a granular, whichever one you want to use. They both work really well. It's really more comes down to your application preference. But this is what I would use for your grub control and your turf caterpillar control, like your sob webworms, armyworms, that type of thing. You only need to apply this like twice a year. So you would apply it now and then again in like August timeframe. Late July, August timeframe is when you would do it again. And then you're pretty much going to be set for keeping lawn damaging insects at bay. Wavy Joe good. So that is what I would do if I were you, as far as insecticide to control grubs, and which will also make your lawn less appealing to the moles. And you can find a celiprin right there on the golf course lawn store. All right. And then Lance F says, Ron, my man, how to cycle between fungicides? Yeah, so if you're going to be applying the same fungicide or the same family of fungicides more than twice in a row, I'm a fan of rotating them. So in like now, we're going to be doing next month, we'll be doing like say Pillar SC or Headway in May, and then Pillar SC and Headway in June. And then you're not really going to be doing anything until the fall. So you could get by with using either Pillar SC or a Headway really this season, because you're not really using it month after month after month after month. If you had a problem in your lawn where you had to do like a third application of fungicides, that's what I would rotate to a different one. And a common one that I recommend is 336F, because that's a group 1 fungicide versus the 3 and 11 that are in Pillar SC or Headway. So if you got a really bad disease problem in your lawn and you have to make a third application, the third one is when I would rotate. But if you're just doing 2 in a row, I would just stick with the same one. All right, Lance. So hope that helps. Good question. Hopefully you're not dealing with too many disease issues, because they are no fun. They're no fun. Man, I thought we were gonna go short tonight, but apparently not. You guys got a lot of questions, right? Taking longer. All right, Warrior One says, I overseeded my St. Augustine with perennial rye, and now I'm getting a lot of Poa trim and Poa annua. What can I use to kill the Poa? So your St. Augustine, you can use Certainty. You can use this. This is what you can use against Poa annua in your warm season line. It's only for warm season turfgrass. So this is what I would push you towards, Warrior One. Go to shop, go to Weed Killer, and get the kit that has Certainty and Surfactant. You really want to use Surfactant with it for best results. The dye is technically optional, but you definitely want to have the herbicide and the spreader sticker for best results. And if you're spraying Poa annua, the rate you need to use is higher. So Certainty is going to come with a measuring spoon. There's a small end and a large end. You're going to use 2 large scoops per 1,000 square feet whenever you're trying to control Poa annua, because it is a more difficult weed to control. So you need to use the higher rate to get good results, especially this time of year when most Poa annua that you're going to be dealing with is already mature enough that it's gone to like seed heads. So you're going to want to use the higher rate. All right. So I'll send you a link here to where you can pick that up, and hopefully that gets you all squared away as far as getting rid of that Poa in your lawn. Sorry that you're dealing with that. That is not fun. All right, and finally, last question of the evening is Mr. Luke B. He has 6,000 square feet, 2 applications, 3,000 square feet. Each contains Celsius 15 grams, Certainty 2.65 grams, High spreader sticker, dye 3 gallons, Alarm Mastery sprayer, white tip. Okay, this weekend I will need to cut. Okay, yeah. So, for if your lawn is 3,000 square feet, yeah, the long term is if you're using the white flood jet, if you're using the white spray tip, this is not the tip you should have used for Celsius and Certainty. You should have used the red one. This is the one you should be using for Celsius and Certainty, not the white spray tip. And then for 3,000 square feet, somewhere between like 0.226 is what I would do for Certainty, 0.226 ounces. And then, I'm sorry, for Celsius, 0.226 ounces of Celsius is what I would use. And then for certainty, if you're doing POA, like somewhere between 6 large scoops over 3,000 square feet. If you're dealing with like mature POA, like that's what it's going to take to knock that out. So I'm not sure if that's what you did, but because I just go by the measuring tools that are included with the herbicides versus like actual like grams. So yeah, hope that helps, Luke. Best of luck with getting the weeds under control. Luis Ayareno is up next. He says, good evening. Glad to be back on the stream. Lawn greened up nicely and ready for my second mow and ready for the season. Nice. I like it. I like it. Ronimus Prime says, Ron, what's the best time to apply insecticides? Now. Like really late March, early April is when I like to do my preventative insecticide apps. And since it's no longer early April, like, you want to get it done. I would get your aceleprint application done like now. I would not really wait too much longer. If you want to know what to apply when, Rodimus, if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store, go to resources and go to lawn care schedule. And then here we have a monthly application schedule starting from February all the way through to November, right? And you'll see here that when you get into the month of April, it shows your spring insecticide app of aceleprint SC or aceleprint G, and then talks about when you can do your fungicide apps, plant growth regulator apps. Like literally this tells you month by month what to do on your lawn. So you just follow that, you'll be in good shape. So I'll link that for you here. So you will have it. All right. And then Warrior One says, will certainty kill perennial rye too, or should I spot spray or blanket spray the whole lawn with certainty? You could use certainty. I would use Celsius though. I like Celsius more for cleaning up, getting rid of a ryegrass overseed than certainty. You can use certainty, but I like Celsius personally. It's also less expensive than certainty to use for that purpose. So that's what I would do. All right, and Lewis says, got in just in time. We'll try to do better next week. No worries, Luis. I'm glad you're here, man, and I'm glad that the lawn's starting to green up, and that you're happy with that. So keep going, man. Well, guys, gals, thank you guys so much for taking some time to come hang out Thursday night. I know it's not our normal time, but I appreciate you guys still coming out and asking some great questions. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled time next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on the Golf Course Lawn Show to talk to you guys about your lawn care challenges, your lawn care successes, and your plans for the season. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. We've got a great assortment of fertilizers, plant growth regulators, insecticides, fungicides, anything you need to get your lawn, golf course lawn quality in stock and shipping to your door. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Have an amazing weekend.